Hello,
I guess
everybody.
that's us. I guess we're here.
Yeah. So
I
we
just,
got Stone Sour.
and
Hey.
Miss Kitty, kind
Yeah.
of. You can
She's
sort
all
of
her
see her in the
tails in
shot
the way.
here.
Hey, Raccoon Eyes.
And she jumped up in my lap, and now I'm stuck with
Kate
her.
Munin is joining us. We actually talked about you yesterday when we were
Did
in
we?
Goodwill and we saw all those anime.
There was a ton of anime DVDs.
It was like 50 of them. It
A
was so
lot of stuff I
many.
didn't recognize.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, now is the time we need K Moon in here to tell us what these are. Hey, Reynard, how are
Renard is there.
you? Good to see all of y'all again. We got Gilgamesh
Gilgamesh
is in the
and
house
Alpha
and
Trion.
Alpha Tryon. Hope y'all had a very uneventful week.
Yeah.
And if it was eventful, hopefully it wasn't bad. I just
Uh-oh.
told, oh,
Ooh, careful there.
benching. So now I'm going to listen and try not to move it. Wow.
Hopefully it's not separated. It's just a tear.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had popped a tendon in my bicep doing some pull-ups and I was following along with the video and I didn't realize that my arm was too far back. Well,
Uh,
yeah, my arm was too far back and I was doing it for the duration of the thing and it you could feel it pop. It didn't hurt, but you
yeah.
could see that tendon roll up. Ugh, it just felt weird.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
John
Hey,
McJunkin
John
is there.
Junkin, how are
People are
you?
rolling in and strolling in here. Robert online.
Hey, Robert. But again, I hope y'all had an uneventful week, and if it was, it wasn't too bad. Something that you can recover from,
Yeah,
fairly
yeah.
quickly.
There
It
was a
must have
couple.
been newer anime if you didn't recognize them. It was
There
a
was a
few old
couple.
ones.
Like a Trigun was in there, and I knew what that was, and like Vampire Hunter D, and I knew what that was. Stuff like that. But a lot of it, I was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
Custom God is there. Who else?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, nice weather
Yeah.
today. Went by to see my mom and we sat outside in the little courtyard area. Hey, Spike, how are you?
Yep.
Um, saw saw her, sat outside and just enjoyed the sun for a while.
Yeah.
So we had a good time doing that.
Didn't
Um,
really run around or anything. Didn't
mhm.
go to any shows or anything like that today.
Yeah, we didn't do much of nothing. This weekend didn't have anything anyway
Well, we
because
can't go to everything.
yeah, but plus it's Mother's Day weekend, so you don't usually find too much. Hey Paul, how are you? You don't find too much during the Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
People like to stay close to home so they can be by their mama
So
and
they can
stuff.
pretend like they care.
Oh, David, cut it out.
That's right. False sense of obligation. Let's pretend like we care. No, I'm just
Oh,
I'm being evil.
yeah, he
No,
is.
she
Yeah, he
she
is.
gets along with her mother. I tease.
Everybody is not that fortunate, I realize, but
Yeah.
even if that's the case, you should still be a good person and try to treat everybody with some form of respect, not just be mean and nasty because things didn't go well for you. That's how I see
Especially if they're a cat.
it. Speaking of cats, we were at
Oh
Walmart.
yeah.
Well, first I was at Walmart. I went during my lunch break to go and look for something, and I saw two cats in the parking lot. And I took a picture and I sent it to David. I went back inside and I bought a can of cat food and I put it out for him. And then after work, me and David went out there and they were still there. And of course, David tried to get the cats to bring them
Couldn't. Yeah,
home.
and they wouldn't respond.
No, they weren't too scary because they let you get fairly close to them. But if
Yeah.
you tried to reach out to touch them, they ran. So,
And we ran into another guy out there who is another cat nut. He's got 18, he says, at his house. And he was like, yeah, those two, they've been out here a couple of months. Somebody dumped them out here.
yeah,
And he tried to get them before too, and they're just too scary. Which I can imagine because they're in a parking lot. They're living in a parking lot in front of a Walmart. That's terrible.
yes. And they're like and you know how Walmart is, it's a
Yeah.
million cars. And when I saw them, I was walking in between the cars and they were like right I mean, they were like sitting right at the edge of the car. And then when I went back, one was like under the tire and the other one was kind of just laid out. Like, this is where we belong. So I set the food right by the
Yeah,
tire.
they get used to it.
Yeah, but when we came back, that can was empty. So they ate all the food. Um, like I said, they were hiding up under cars. And while we were there, this guy saw us, and he had bought like a ton of food because he
Hmm.
took care of a lot of cats, and
Yeah.
he gave us a can so we could try to coax it out, but they never came out, so we just left the food there.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
what else to do
no,
aside from trying to set traps out there. But then you got issues with Walmart. Then you know
oh, but you know what?
it
I
was
actually thought of
it
that
was
and then
Goodwill.
didn't. Yeah, I actually thought of that and then didn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we said, man, now we wish we had K
Hmm.
Muni's number and we could show you the video, read the names out because you would know what they were.
If it
It was
was
a
worth
lot.
bothering with or not. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of them. I mean, literally, what you'll say about 50 of them?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody had an anime collection and got rid of it
Was
and dumped
yeah.
them off at Goodwill.
Oh, Paul says he found us about a year
Okay.
ago, and we're one of their favorite toy
Toy
tubers.
tubers.
Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you.
Oh, thank
We
you.
just trying to share the appreciation for the hobby.
Yeah.
And Stone Sour made a
Super
$3
chat.
cat donation.
Yeah. Um,
Much appreciated.
I
Here's
wish we had thought of it when we went back to
Miss
take
Kitty
some
there.
water because I'm pretty sure they were more thirsty than hungry because in the Walmart parking lot, there's always food in that Walmart
Yeah, and
parking
that's
lot.
probably why they hang out there because
Yeah.
they know that they know they can continue to get a meal.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
people, throw out chicken
Yeah,
wings
people
and
drop everything in the parking
hamburger
lot.
stuff and all kinds of things. So, um, I like you change your view.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
try to
move it
move
around.
around the room so people can see different things.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was kind of interesting, and I was surprised to see that at Walmart. I don't think I ever find something that cool at my I think stuff like that either doesn't make it to the shelves or gets scalped quick.
Well, a lot of it doesn't make it to the shelves
Yeah.
because it's Goodwill online also. So if they think something is anything,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to make it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they wanted like $3 a piece.
Yeah, she picked up a couple that she recognized.
Yeah, it
but-
was two of them that I recognized that I've seen before, but still I recognized. But outside of that, we didn't know what they were, so we didn't want to. Not for $3, and then it wasn't the color of the week, which nothing
of course not.
is ever the color of the week because they pull them out.
Hint. Early Monday morning, they pull those colors before the sign goes up and they unlock the door.
Hey, Hank.
Hank is here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's this? David McKell,
Hey, David. How are you?
aka the Blue Splash.
The blue splash.
That's
Splash
right.
blue. My wife loves kittens, so I thought I surprised her for our anniversary by locking her in a room full of lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! But it only angered her.
I see. Yeah, well, she made it out alive though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made it out alive, so that'll be okay. The one thing I did pick up there though, is recognize this. That is the a Fire King mug. Never leave a Fire King mug behind, especially if it's got something on it. And you often see like they have peanuts and they have McDonald's made these and stuff like that. But this is the Esso Tiger from Esso Gas Fire King mug, and it's in great shape. And it goes to show you how small a cup of coffee used to be.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, you got to have that like workout grip on it. You like pump your arm to drink it. But also keep in mind that back in those days, coffee was pretty bad in the United States. I'm old enough to remember. And that's why Starbucks is as popular as it is. And I know a lot of people love to hate Starbucks, but they kind of introduced halfway decent coffee to America because the idea was, Elite Action Joe's is here. The idea was wow, American coffee tastes like you're trying to suck down a cup of dirt. So it tastes so good everywhere else in the world. Why not America? And that's really what made Starbucks so famous. And now everybody makes gourmet coffees
Yeah.
and espressos and lattes and everything else. But yeah, that's why your cup was small, because that's all you could take. It was awful. Plans for tomorrow? Well, probably going back to the nursing home.
Yeah,
Not much else.
they're having a Mother's Day
Hmm.
luncheon, whatever that means, at the nursing home.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to that and I guess have lunch. And then we're gonna come back home and watch movies. That's our plans for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Nothing.
We
Nothing
didn't
major.
we didn't have anything planned, like to go somewhere or to do something.
Yeah.
Plus because tomorrow is Mother Day, and I thought my brother would have came tomorrow. He actually came today, because he's going out of town tomorrow. So me, David, my brother, and his wife all went to the nursing home, and we had cake and cookies with my mom and gave her flowers and all of this and that there.
Hmm.
So then tomorrow is the luncheon that the nursing home is going to give. So we're going to
Pretty much.
that. 'Cause that's what we do.
Well,
Yeah, I thought it was Tony the Tiger when
yeah.
David showed me the cup. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
Tony the
the.
Tiger."
See, that's the Esso Tiger from Esso Gas.
And the only place I've ever seen Esso gas was when I was in Italy. They had Esso gas and it had the tiger on it.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, "Why they got Tony the Tiger on the gas stations?" But that's the gas station emblem, the Esso Tiger.
Yeah.
What are they going to? Who knows?
Mush. I don't know.
Who
I
knows?
probably won't eat it. Just.
Yeah, David is vegetarian, so whatever they serve is going to have meat in it.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to eat anything. Now, they had a event a couple of weeks ago and they had that catered. I don't think you ate the pasta salad.
Yeah, I had like a small amount. Besides,
I don't know
if a
what
lot of that is going to the residents, I don't want to take much anyways.
they have.
You know
So
what I
much
mean?
food. It is not, you ain't taking
It
nothing out of their
that's
mouth.
just my instinct.
I picked up a couple of Turtles of Grayskull figures. I'm liking the line way more than I thought I would. Yeah, yeah.
Says Gilgamesh
Gilgamesh.
there. Yeah.
We were in Walmart. Like I said, we were in Walmart. Well, I was in Walmart. Hold on, this thing getting on my nerve. And they got a lot of the turtles, not the gray skull turtles.
Everything else.
Yeah, but they took down all of the McFarlane stuff. So it was no McFarlane stuff up.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. Mother's Day luncheon at the nursing home. I
Yeah.
wonder if my mother-in-law has any plans for tomorrow.
And Munin said everyone around them drinks coffee except for them. How do people drink that stuff? Well, you gotta it depends, because we like it like sweet.
Mhm.
So we don't. What I don't understand is when somebody drinks black coffee,
My dad
or
drinks.
just with a spoon of sugar in it or something.
My dad
I
drink
can't
it.
do it.
No cream, no sugar.
No, mine is like half milk
Yeah.
and cream. I can if I drink it.
Oh, Custom Guy says he's a vegetarian. Picked up the
Mhm.
Target Haulathon stuff.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
good on Haulathon for a few months now. I haven't been to Target in a long time. Recently
Yeah.
picked up the first appearance Archangel for a good price. Okay.
Oh, okay. From X Factor. From X Factor. Robert says, first time I see you in a shirt. Oh, this is my old work shirt. See, Frito Lay Topeka.
That's where he
Well, they
used to work.
It's one of my old uniform shirts I got on. But from when I was there,
And put hot cocoa packets in it. I learned that in the military. When I was in the military, because you got the MRE coffee or the coffee from the chow hall, and it was disgusting. So you took the cocoa powder and you mix it all up
yeah,
together with cream and sugar and everything to kind of break it up.
Mhm.
But I don't care for coffee. I do drink it because I like the flavored cream. I buy the flavored cream. If it's no cream, flavored cream, I won't drink it. And it has to be like almost half flavored cream
Yeah.
because I don't care for the coffee taste.
Well, military coffee is notoriously bad. Just ask Blackadder. What is it? The fourth Blackadder, the fourth during World War I,
Uh-huh.
and Baldric brings him the coffee, and he tastes it, and he was like, "God, this is awful." He was like, "How can they do this to us?" And he was like, "Well, it's not really coffee." He was like, "What is it?" "Mud. We ran out of coffee 6 months ago." And he was like, "Can you put more sugar in it?" And he was like, "Well, it's not really sugar either. We ran
Hmm.
out of sugar 4 months ago." And he says, "Well, all right, Baldric, what are you using for sugar?" And he said, "Dandruff." Like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
our Walmart, now that you say, I
Mhm.
didn't notice any Masters of the Universe either. It only had Turtles, um some wrestling, not
Yeah,
as many wrestling, and then they got a new line of something, some kind of toy I never even seen before.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
forget.
they revamping. I guess they're getting tired of all that stuff that
Changing the
never sells.
planograms. Munin says that Target Holothon stuff went straight to clearance, even the anime
Wow.
pops. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I ain't gonna rehash it, but a lot of this stuff is just not selling. Only thing I got from Holothon was the bloody fair. Oh,
Says Stone Sour. Yeah, we
yeah,
showed that Friday.
yeah, that looks weird. It looks cool because I like what NECA does with the
Yeah.
predators, and I actually got a few there. I remember when they had their 200th edition.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So God knows what they're on now. But I like their predators, but whoa, it's so many of them.
Yeah, and there's somebody out there that's got all of them, and
I
then NECA
know.
announces another Predator, and they're like, "Oh man, where am I gonna put it?"
We saw the YouTube video.
Uh huh.
The guy, he got all predator and alien. That's it. Predator and alien statues and 1/6
Oh,
scale
that's right.
figures
Yeah,
in the whole
his whole
house,
house.
top to bottom, every floor, every room, and it looked good. It looked really good. The way he had it set up, and I want to say it was the same guy. I don't know if it was the basement or some big bonus room, but he had this. I think it was the ship or something, and he had the aliens and the predators on either side, like not aliens on one side, predators on the other.
Is that the guy who recreated the trophy wall from Predator 2 on his wall?
I I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but the one I'm talking about, this guy, that's all he had, and it looked real good.
Hmm.
And but it was all predator, all aliens, and that was it. And I'm guessing from every company that made the statues and the 1/6 scale figures, and he had it displayed really nice. He had the bus and everything. It was cool. It was cool. I drink black
McNichol.
coffee, but I can't drink too much. I'm sensitive to caffeine.
And who's that? McJunkin. You need to hang out with some of us plain coffee drinking he-men. We drink our coffee plain, no cream, no sugar. We get
You-
together in our knitting night. Okay. And Blue Splash says a lot of collectors were upset NECA didn't have Jigsaw up for the Haulathon drops on Friday morning.
Oh, you mean from Saw? They did a lot of that, isn't it? Isn't Jigsaw from Saw? That's the
Uh,
the character
I
from
don't
Saw.
remember because I've never
Most
seen
of
I
them
never
are
saw any
just
of Saw's.
updated releases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Mm. I heard it was only international. What are you talking about? The
The
Holothon?
NECA Jigsaw.
Oh,
Yeah, had to go in store.
oh, okay.
And what's that? Hank says McFarlane footprint's been almost totally taken out at my local Walmart's and Target. McFarlane toys have not come back in stock, just a lot of empty pegs.
Oh
And he
wow.
was really good at getting stuff out. That was the
Yeah.
thing, because everybody else, you're sitting on your hands waiting and waiting and waiting. But McFarlane toys will hit the shelves on time. And Laney is here. Glad you could join us this
Yeah.
evening. And who saw the short that I put up of that crushed box? You saw the crushed
Krampus
box?
figure. Oh, like 6 years. $100.
Really?
Wow.
The Krampus,
Mm.
a NECA Krampus,
Oh
says
yeah,
Gilgamesh.
David got a package in the mail, and that boy made it fit in that
he made it fit
mailbox.
in the mailbox, and man,
Crushed
that
it
was
up and
it was a
everything.
time getting it out. Who saw that short where that box was absolutely demolished? I was pissed off.
Yeah, I
I was
mean, the only good thing about it, whatever was in the box wasn't going to get destroyed.
yeah,
But we've had that happen a couple of times. A figure I had, but it wasn't nothing to be destroyed, so it was okay, I guess.
yeah, because that's what Munin is asking. I got it right. I
His
got it right
second
here.
son.
I'll show you. It's something that was basically, yeah, Custom God saw it too. It's something that was basically too small
Mm-hmm.
to be affected,
Yeah.
and that is the Dakin Smokey the Bear from like 72,
Mm.
I want to say, in the bag, and it's an action figure, and this is how they were displayed. And Dakin did Disney characters. They did Popeye. They did Hanna Barbera. Stuff like that. They did the Flintstones and whatever in this scale, which is about 8.5 inches tall. And he's jointed at the hips, shoulders, and neck. And these are not sealed.
Mm-hmm. So he can open it and
I can
show
show
you.
you here real quick if
Yeah.
you've never seen one of these before. And these mixed media, because if they have clothing, the clothing is real.
Mm.
So you see he's got little jeans and a little belt on. And that, again, that's R. Dakin. There's this little hang tag, and he's got his shovel, and it says in the shovel, "Prevent forest fires." Smokey the bear, Smokey the Bear, and the cap does come off, but then he looks like Super Freak underneath. Well, I don't know how well that's attached. I don't want to screw with it too much, but it's like the top of his head is a plug that perfectly form fits the hat. So if you take the hat off, he looks really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what's in there. This is what was in there, and that's not something that. Fortunately, it was
Yeah.
unaffected,
Yeah.
because if it was anything else in there, it probably would have been just destroyed.
Yeah, and if David was like some people, some people that take that all the way to the postmaster general and everything.
Yeah,
And in the Atlanta post office is already having a lot of problems
yeah,
with delayed packages and all of that stuff. The post office is not in a good place right now.
no,
So you don't need to be doing all that. I
no,
mean, just because, yeah, we live on top of a mountain, but just because you don't want to walk up the mountain doesn't mean you crush the package in the box. The other
they drive up and
yeah, they
they
drive up the mountain.
put the box out, but which is fine. At
Yeah.
least it's up there. But yeah, not that we could even find out who it is, because we don't have a regular postman anymore. We got
Mm-mm.
somebody different every day.
Yeah, when we first got here, we had a regular guy, but I'm guessing he's retired
And I
now.
can show you a couple other examples if you're curious
That looks
of
really cool.
the
Yeah, he
Dakin.
has a couple of those Dakin ones,
Yeah.
soft goods.
Like here's a couple of. I got a couple sitting here.
Hey, just Jeff.
Just Jeff is here.
Yeah, Jeff, that is what was in the box. That Smokey the Bear figure.
See, like here's the Elmer Fudd. Same thing. It's in a bag. He's got the hang tag on his wrist. It's all mixed media. He's wearing clothing. Um, and that's how Dakin did them. And most of these,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that they're from the early 70s, are surprisingly affordable.
Mm.
They don't cost a whole hell of a lot. Like that Smokey the Bear, you can probably catch one mint in the bag like that for around $50. See, there's Elmer. All of his clothes are real, and he's jointed like a traditional action figure. Neck, shoulders, and hips. And the clothing is removable. It's like a real
Mm.
button there and everything. These are really well done.
Yeah.
These are nice quality
Cause
items.
yeah, for a item that's packaged so cheaply, it's not.
Yeah, well, they that's where they saved their money, was with the packaging, and they did it in a way that you could still see what it was,
Yeah.
and you can hang it.
Mm-hmm.
This will go right on the hang tab in the store, and then you can carry your character around like this. That's what you do. And then here's a Bugs Bunny.
I'm gonna remove that so people can see.
And again, you can see he's got 5 points of articulation. But and there's a handful, there's a couple that can get expensive.
Yeah.
That can get expensive, but for the most part, a lot of the standard characters like these are relatively affordable. Like if anybody was interested in Dakin or even loose, they're a lot cheaper. Robert says he thinks he had the Popeye.
He
Yeah,
lost the
because they
head.
did, Popeye, Olive Oil, Bluto. They did the standards for those. Yeah, it's a cool line, and it's one of those things that's kind of being forgotten over the years. People aren't thinking about these anymore as everybody looks for the next new thing.
Yeah.
But I love finding the old vintage stuff that, especially if it is affordable like these. And there he is with his carrot. What's up,
that
Doc?
head looks funny. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
seam.
because it's seamed like under his chin.
Yeah.
So it's got like a disc at the base of his neck instead of, they did something weird with it for some reason. But yeah, I mean, that's just, it's really classic. Really classic.
Did you hear about the Airwolf Kickstarter debacle?
No, I didn't hear anything about
No.
Airwolf.
I haven't
I don't
heard
know
anything
about
that either.
Yeah, I think we even showed these on our affordable 70s action figure video.
I'm not sure.
The Dakins. I'm sure I would have mentioned them. I think I would have, because it's, most of them are reasonably priced.
Hank says he thinks that the post office just hates us toy collectors in general. It's a conspiracy because I'm seeing way too many collectibles get damaged the past couple of years. Yeah, and we used to watch this one guy. I can't remember his name.
Is that the statue guy?
The statue guy. Now, this guy used to get a statue like every day. I mean, like the big boy statue, Queen Studio X1 Prime 1. I mean, XM Prime 1. And after a while, and he had the video cameras, and he said he would see like the FedEx and the UPS just throwing the boxes.
Yeah, this tipping them off of the back of the truck and falling on the ground. And it's like, yeah, this I'm paying like $1,400, $2,000 for statues, so you can throw it somewhere.
And then of course sometimes, but because they were so well packed, they weren't always damaged, but a couple of times they got damaged pretty good. So he started complaining about it. But he said he noticed that after a while, because he was getting statues literally like every day. And if you watch this guy channel, if a statue came out, he had it. And I mean, he had like everyone. And then he did giveaways of these statues. It's like, dude, you're giving away a $1,200 statue
because you don't like it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Give them to me.
All right. But you had to enter his contest, his giveaway contest.
Munin says the details of the vintage toy lines is surprising. Yeah, they put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do better sculpts nowadays, but aside from just the great sculpt, the durability of the figures was superior back then. And we're not seeing that anymore. Oh, Jeff says the guy started in 2022, sent out some build your own kits. Some of them didn't work. And I guess he kept accepting money from the project and pulled the plug a few days ago. That's the second time I've heard about something like that. That happened with a company that was doing your own build kind of thing like last year. Because we know somebody who ran into an issue with that. He's like halfway through his project and they were cut off. Machine Man says the bags look familiar, but at the time, if it wasn't Batman, I kind of forgot. And Sutton and Sons did stuff like that too.
Thanks, T. Stewart.
Hey, Stewart made a donation. Thank you.
of flowery, shiny beard oil.
No, I don't put oil in it.
He don't do nothing but wash it.
Yeah, and I'll
2021.
But definitely it helps a lot, especially with the cat fund.
And ordering most of them from Japan directly, I'm always nervous when the post office is handling my shipments. That's why we had got the post office box so that it wouldn't be handled that much. And then after COVID hit and you couldn't really go anywhere, I know I did. I stopped using the post office and just had my stuff shipped directly to the house because you couldn't really go to many places, and I never switched it. David, I think, still uses the post office for his shipments. But yeah, the less it gets handled, the better I feel. But then, like, if I get something big, like, let's say, like a statue, which I haven't ordered a statue in forever. But if I get something big from Super 7 or a statue, I would still send it to the post office because it's big. You got to usually sign for it, and somebody's not home. And if it's the like I said, we live on the top of a mountain. So if you got somebody like the FedEx or the UPS, they don't want to climb up, they don't want to walk up this mountain.
That's why you back up the truck.
I don't think that big truck can. The post office does, but then they're gonna get mad because they got to do it and they're gonna throw it. So just take it to the post office,
Uh,
put it in the back, and I'll go get it. But now little stuff that come from eBay and Amazon and Macari, I bring it, send it to the house. But the big stuff, just take it to the post office and I'll go get it.
yeah, well.
Yeah, because it's they don't. I don't know. They just don't want to. They don't want to do it. So why bother?
But yeah, back to Munen's point. Oh, it's Alpha trying to say, can't believe how they shoved your pack in the. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
well, that's what they do,
that's
and
what
it's
they
not the
do.
first time. What were you saying?
Just some of the imagination that came with it, like the Billy Blast Off,
Yeah.
Or like, but I don't have a battery in it, but I'll show you. Like Billy Blast Off and his little robot here. These are just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of examples. And this is Eldon Toys from like 1968. See a little fat little Billy Blastoff, kind of wants to be Major Matt Mason's son, I guess. And then there's his little robot companion, right? But what they did is, if you noticed, he's got a backpack. This backpack actually holds 2 AA batteries, and it's got a gear, right? And you take his vehicles, and he's got a bunch of different vehicles, and there's a little spoke right there, and you plug him in, and then when you turn it on, the gear inside the backpack turns and the vehicle moves. And he's got several vehicles this work with,
Mm-mm.
including the robot does the exact same thing. And I'm like, that's ingenious. And they also it was Eldon Toys, I think, and they also made like Billy Cowboy and a Billy Diver and some other stuff that like most people never even heard of. But I mean, that's a lot of imagination right there. No noise and buttons and talking and all of that. I just think that's a clever idea.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reston says, saw the short with the postman. That was nuts. And
Yeah.
Gilgamesh says, I'll get things stuck in the Atlanta Norcross loop over and over. It'll missend 3 or 4 times. Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble. It was Virginia, Georgia, and Texas, particularly, are actually under investigation by the Postmaster General to find out what's going on.
Car parts. They got lost in Wichita, Kansas for a month. Wow.
Nobody reads it. I mean, they scan it. Nobody's actually reading those until it's actually out for delivery. Oh, and there's Johnny.
Yeah, he went to a toy show today and saw the Bionic Man and Woman, Lee
That's
Majors
right.
and Lindsay Wagner got a bunch of autographs and some photo ops.
Yep.
So that'll be cool. Hopefully he takes some pictures and put it up on Facebook so we all can see.
Yeah, he has some photos that he took.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he put them up though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's a guy in this area. He's at almost every toy show, and he's called the $6 million man. What's he called?
I forget what they call him.
The 6 million. He's not the $6 million man, but it's $6 million toy collector, I think. But anyway, all of his toys is from the $6 million man and the Bionic Woman and stuff like that.
And a smattering of other things.
Yeah, a few other things.
Like Pulsar Man,
yeah,
things like that. And he'll run around at the show, and if before the show starts, and if anybody has anything $6 million man, he'll buy it.
Yeah, and so then, he can be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's starting to use 3D printed boxes. So But almost all of his figures are signed. And he
Yeah,
got a lot of figures and pictures and stuff, and they're all signed. Do you have any of the 1974 DC or Marvel Comics Mego action figures?
not anymore.
Not
Part
anymore.
I
And
had
that
a
was
few.
Reynard. Hey,
Oh no, I
Reynard.
do have one.
Oh, you got one.
That was part of the collection that was
Stolen.
stolen many
Let's
years
just say
ago.
stolen.
Yeah, yeah.
Ever think
But
about adding a drop box next to your mailbox? I know some people who have done that.
mhm.
I've seen that before, but I don't think we ever thought about doing that. What's going on with the postmaster? Who knows?
Yeah, well, those three states in particular are under investigation.
Okay. Johnny said he's going to post his pictures on Facebook later tonight. He'll share it on
Yeah,
the channel, on a Facebook page, so y'all can see what he got going on.
this is the 12.5 inch Batman, the standard one, not the one with the magnets. Because the other version has magnets in his hands and feet, so you can
Yeah.
make him climb up the refrigerator or
Okay.
whatever. But this is the 12.5 inch from 1976 that I picked up it was the Joe Lanta last year, right? I think it was last year's Joe Lanta.
I don't know. I remember you getting it, but I
Yeah,
don't know where
and
we were.
it's sealed. He's never been removed. He's never
Yeah.
been removed. The flaps unbent. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's
This
a
is in
nice
this
figure.
is in great shape, and the price was surprisingly reasonable, or else I probably wouldn't have been able to get it because Migos really shot up when I was collecting and buying Migos. They weren't that expensive,
Mm.
step back in the day, back in the early '90s or whatever. They didn't cost that much, but yeah, that's the only real example I have right now because there's nothing, from the old collection. There's nothing left.
David, are you cosplaying as Ash from S Smart?
No,
Okay. No, he
no.
is
This
not.
is my old Frito Lay uniform.
Gilgamesh saw some Bionic 6 figures at a toy shop the other day. Didn't realize that they were so expensive.
Yeah, they've gotten up there.
All of those old, and it's so weird because it seems like some toys just go through the roof and others don't move at all.
Yeah,
In price is what
certain
I'm talking about.
franchises jump off big time, and Kenner $6 Million Man's one
Wow.
of them.
$6 million man box
Bionic
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Yeah, but there's certain franchises from people's childhood, especially that they really remember having. And $6 Million Man was extremely popular. That was a very
Mm.
popular show and a
Mm-hmm.
very popular toy line that a lot of other companies tried to rip off.
We
They tried to copy they tried to get on the bandwagon when Kenner was making all that money.
When we were at the Barnyard Flea Market last week, we saw the spaceship from Bionic Man, didn't we? I mean, $6 Million Man
Where?
at the Barnyard Flea Market. You remember the spaceship
Oh no, the capsule. Yeah, we
capsule?
saw the capsule. That's
Yeah,
right. Somebody
and
had
they
the
had the
capsule.
box to go with it, but it was all
Do
raggedy.
I? Yeah, it's this.
Oh, you got that?
I do have it.
Do you remember the postman from Funny Farm?
I do remember that. And he would laugh maniacally and drive past real quick, and the mail would just fly out of the truck. Yeah, that's the capsule that she saw. Only it was loose.
But it had the box.
Yeah, the box, well, kind of was there. The box was like the whole top half of it was ripped off.
Yeah,
But Steve was in it. But yeah, this is mine sealed. But that's the Bionic transport and repair station. But it looks like a capsule, and it's got like it looks, it's got the little rocket pods on the bottom. When you seal it up, it looks like it could be a capsule.
K Muna says when he hear you speak on what vintage toy lines used to cost, it makes him wonder what toy lines are next to jump up in price.
Anything from the '90s,
You think so?
as those people age in, as they get older, and
Mm-hmm.
they look back to the toys that they used to collect, which we're already seeing happening with the Exo Squad stuff, because
Mm.
Exo Squad is going up and up and up.
Exo Squad is
Yeah.
already in the expensive range. Now, it had two waves. And then they have in one of the waves, I don't know which one, they have the Jump Troopers, which was a part of the show. Those are still cheap. You can get
Mhm.
those for under $30. but the actual figures, the spaceships, well, they call it the space series, which are the ships and stuff like that. Those are expensive, especially some of the ships are very expensive. And I mean, over $120, and some people want 200 and more
Yeah.
for them. But if you stay diligent and look on eBay, look on Macari, and just wait, somebody will have it.
Yeah.
Cause
Bide your time.
yeah, cause I found one for like $79.
And that's like half what it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the box was in it was, I mean, it wasn't in like pristine shape, but it wasn't raggy. It had some wear on it, but it was never opened. So, you just gotta wait. David don't have any board
And I
games.
have very few board games. They're hard to display,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Do I have Woody Woodpecker or Mighty Mouse? I
And
got
Dakin?
in Dakin, no.
Oh.
But did they make Woody? I don't know if they made Mighty Mouse.
Mm.
Machine Man says, "Still wish $6 Million Man was the 12-inch Adventure Team scale." Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why. I mean, even Hasbro ripped it off when they did Atomic Man, because that's essentially, and it looks like Steve Austin's kid brother, because he's like taller. But yeah, that's why they did that. That's why Pulsar Man was done by Mattel. That's why Tomy did Mighty Max. Everybody was ripping that off.
How rare are the Shogun Warriors? I have them I have them pop up everywhere
Really?
last year. You've seen them all over the place.
Um,
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, not
Well,
James
oh,
O
hold
says
on.
Power Rangers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Power Rangers. They're still relatively affordable. Most of the original
The
Power Rangers
original
stuff.
ones?
Yeah, the original, because they made so much of that. I remember
Yeah.
CVS was the first ones to have them when I was still living in Boston, and they actually were filling them in bins in
Mm.
the CVS drugstores.
I remember the craze of them
Hmm.
in the 90s. It was almost like the Cabbage Patch doll and that Tickle Me Elmo when that came out, and
Yeah.
everybody was running all over the place trying to find it. And I remember a boy in our neighborhood, he had died. I think he had got sick and died. And his mom had bought him one. And then she put it in the casket with
Hmm.
him. And I remember that was during a time that it was so big and hard to find. I'm like, man. I
Yeah.
mean, thinking about them, like,
That's
man,
because
she put
people
that
were
in there.
scrambling for them. I
Yeah.
remember when I worked for Bradley's,
Mm-hmm.
people were fighting over the dolls, because they
Yeah.
had the pink Ranger and the yellow Ranger, but they were dolls, not figures.
Mm.
People were ready to go to blows over them.
Yeah.
Um, Shogun Warriors, he's asking about
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It in complete condition, or still in the packages, because they came in 3, 5, and 22 to 23 inch.
Mm-hmm.
So to find them still packaged or at least complete is actually really tough.
Mm.
It can, and I've got a couple of these I can show real quick, just to give you an example. I'll pull down Dragon in two different styles.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's and these are die cast. That's the 3-inch Dragon,
You got that
or
glare.
Dragon. Yeah, I know it's hard to dial them in there so
Mm-hmm.
that it's easier to see. And then there's the 5-inch. There's bigger, more details.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they shoot things like, yeah, you see this one shoots his fists.
Yeah.
And then they jump all the way to the jumbo Machinder size. And there's a mini jumbo Machinder size also, but Mattel didn't, I mean, not Mattel. No, it was Mattel. Mattel didn't adapt them,
Oh.
because all of this stuff is copies of the Japanese toys.
Mm.
But yeah, to finding them like this, or at least complete and relatively unplayed with condition, not all torn to pieces,
Mm.
and finding those guys complete and in the right order. Like some of you might have seen the video I did on the Mazinger, because I got 3 different versions there and explaining the differences between them. Because parts can be taken off and switched around, sometimes they're assembled incorrectly. So, yeah, finding them complete with the right parts, or in the package and stuff like that can be really tough.
Hank says that the Kenner 90s Batman are starting to go up in prices. Yeah, the 89 Batman stuff are going up, and the Batman animated series is starting to go up in price.
Yeah.
Also, the Swamp Thing is starting to go up. I
Oh,
bought
yeah.
mine.
Whoa.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I
Slow
hit
down.
the I hit the thing. I bought my Swamp Thing what about a year or two ago, and they were still cheap then,
Mhm.
but they're slowly starting to inch up. So if you see stuff, especially from that time period, you want to start jumping on it because
Whatever you're into, you know, if it's
yeah,
Earthworm Jim, Skeleton
yeah,
Warriors, or you can look at our '90s video, and we showcase a
mm,
lot of '90s action
yeah.
figures that are still in a nominal price range that are affordable, and most of that still kind of is.
HasLab Sentinel is starting to go up
Really?
after X-Men 97. That I've heard a lot of good things
Yeah.
about that X-Men 97, and people are talking really good about it. And I've seen that the X-Men comic books are starting to go up because of it.
Uh huh.
All of the good publicity, I guess, it's getting.
Yeah. For now, until it goes off the air and all the speculative buyers dump everything into the
Unless they
market,
come up with another season.
we'll see.
Lee Majors told me that the new Fall Guy movie is really worth watching. I don't believe he was just saying that. He seemed sincere enough about it.
Who knows? I haven't really heard much.
No, one of the that guy, I can't think of his name. He's in it. I've seen some of the clips from it, but at this point, with all of the remakes they're doing, I'm just like, come on. Do
Yeah.
we really need to do this? You know, they redid MacGyver, they redid Michael Knight,
Well,
they
they made
redid,
MacGyver a teenager, and nobody wanted to
yeah,
see that.
they did Michael Knight,
Hmm.
they did everything. Oh, not fancy. Magnum PI, didn't they do Magnum PI? I think.
I think so. Oh my
Um,
God,
I mean,
Charlie's Angels, which was a horrible movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I know we say this a lot. There, I think they're creatively bankrupt. You can't come up with something else.
Nope.
You have to rehash a show, a movie that was already made. I don't know. They did Roadhouse. We saw the clips from Roadhouse. It's like,
and yeah, the argument was it didn't feel anything like the original Roadhouse. The
yeah.
original Roadhouse was so much better. Blue Splash said voice actress Lenore Zahn, who voices Rogue on X-Men animated series, was at a local con today. Wish they had their Mondo Rogue and would have gotten it signed by her.
Oh, thank you, Rustin.
Oh, Reston made a donation to the channel. Thank you, Reston.
$2, and we are
Much
truly
appreciated.
grateful.
Indeed.
Godzilla should be bigger than the Mazinger, I think.
Yeah, but again, they just copied the molds from Popey.
Okay, okay. Literally never found a good deal
Oh, wow,
anywhere.
Stuart. I don't. And Reston says it's for the cats, of course.
That's all David
Speaking of
used
the devil,
anything.
there goes Miss Kitty.
He always buying stuff for them cats.
Yeah, the Godzilla is smaller because the Godzilla was from a different line at Popey, and they really retooled to this Godzilla. They changed a lot. The fist firing mechanism was an original function from the, like, I think what, 1976 Popey version,
I don't know.
the Japanese version.
Mm.
He had the fist firing mechanism, but he had large prominent spikes on his back, and I keep wanting to say Hasbro. Mattel filed those down. They just said, no, we don't want big spikes. We want little tiny spikes. So they made them shorter. They cut them down by about a half an inch at least. Then they didn't like the head. The original one has a head that matched the current movie Godzilla in Japan, and they were like, no, we want this big goofy like cartoon looking head instead. So they changed the head out. Then they got rid of the voice box because the Japanese one had a talking mechanism.
Oh, okay.
It was a pull string talker, and they were like, no, we don't want to pay for that. So what do? I know the head's big enough. Let's put something in his head. And that's where you get the what's referred to as the tongue. It's actually supposed to be fire
Oh,
coming out of his mouth, but it only comes out like an inch and a half because they didn't want to make a long roll in his tongue. So they chopped it all up. All of these were reduced drastically from the Japanese versions.
wow.
Like
I wonder what a Japanese version look like, and then how much does that cost compared to what
loose
the yeah.
loose about 12 to 1500, maybe more if it's working, of the
Hold on, let me
Godzilla.
move this. We'll come back to you,
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got run in my mouth here.
Let me move
So
them
these
captions.
spikes used to come out to about like here. Actually, I think they cut it back almost an inch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it was big bladed spikes. It was a
Like
lot
what you
different.
see NECA does.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then he had a smaller head with an open mouth with teeth that looked like the movie Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, he had a pull string and he had a little speaker on his chest. And all he did was growl. You pull the string and it just make noise. And then they give you this. Oh, look, here's some flame coming out of his mouth there.
And it looks like a tongue. It looks like a lizard.
Everybody says tongue, and that's what you think because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But Mattel really actually cheated everybody with the redesigns. Like Guy King
Mm-hmm.
is a great example. This is the Jumbo Machinder Guy King
Oh,
from.
we'll be back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal.
The Jumbo Machinder Guy King from Mattel. The original version, okay, has a prominent chest piece. Hold on a second, because now we're all over the place here. The
Oh,
original,
you got them started.
the original Jumbo Machinder Japanese version has a chest that looks like this.
Mm.
It's a big protruding piece that sticks out, a big attachment on the front of his chest. And Mattel was like, "No, that costs too much. We'll just mold his chest and paint it on." And
So
put,
why even
and put
bother if
and
you're
put
not
some
gonna do what
stickers
it looked
and
like?
put some stickers. The Japanese version had big horns on the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could pull the head out, pull the arms out, remove the horns, and then stick them in the arm sockets so that it would look like the face of a lion
Oh.
with the horns, because that's what the ship looked like on the show.
Mm.
So this is actually the head is actually the head of the giant dino mech that the robot was inside of.
Mm.
And it would come out, attach itself to the head, arms and legs would come out, and then he would detach from the dynamech. And so they made it so you could make it into the actual head. And Hasbro was like, I mean, I keep doing that. Mattel was like, nah, too expensive. We'll just scale the whole thing down. American kids won't know the difference.
No, they wouldn't.
And they didn't.
That dragon figure are quite rare. Seeing the old style authentically labeled on the box is awesome. I've been hearing that the new Planet of the Apes movie is good. I've heard that too. I
Uh-huh.
would give it a try if it's on like Amazon Prime or something like that, so it's free. Because I like the Planet of the Apes, even the
The
ones.
original series.
No, I'm talking about the ones that came out
When?
like in 2000 when they were
Really?
in Washington D.C. I thought it was fine. I did.
The
I
one
mean,
with Mark Wahlberg?
yeah, I saw it. I didn't think. I mean, now
Okay.
it's not as good as Charlton Heston. I ain't saying that, but I didn't think it was bad.
Okay.
Johnny's gonna wait for it to come out on Redbox
Okay.
because he hates going to the movies, to the theater. I don't care for it, but I'm going to the movies 2 times. I got 2 times planned
Yeah.
in the future to go to the movies, and that is to see Joaquin Phoenix Joker Part 2 and the Batman Part 2.
Uh-huh.
I don't care if I go to the movie again after that.
And Patrick says they remember looking at Wonder Woman comic book that years later they found out never existed.
Yeah, somebody pulled it.
And Johnny said they saw a vendor have 2 G.I. Joe USS flags,
Whoa.
one US version and one Canadian version. You
Really?
have the US version. I don't have the USS flag.
We don't have nothing.
You can find it. They're always at the shows.
Yeah.
It's just they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. And
Basically.
they're usually complete. You'll find them complete.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Munin says they dumbed down the original Japanese sculpt is terrible. Hasbro even did it with their Beyblades years ago. Produced some using original Japanese components called Hyper Blades. Yeah, and also you know how like they come with a fist function,
Mm-hmm.
like they all have a fist that does something. Those came in pairs with the Japanese versions, and there was also accessory kits that you could buy to um, expand, like different fists, extra rockets, attachments. I think the Mazinger even came with an actual vehicle that he could fit into. Splash says Conan the Adventurer figures. They
That
have
has a
pull
pull
string.
string?
Yeah, there's a pull string on the back of them. I told you. There's
Oh,
a. They all
mine's
have a pull
sealed,
string on the
so I
back, and
don't know.
when you pull it, it operates the arm. So
You did say
you
that.
pull it, and then the arm starts
You
going like
did say
this.
that. But when
Yeah,
he wrote pull string, I thought about talking.
talkers, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, okay, I got what you're saying. Um,
Johnny wants me to write a
write a
book.
book. I mean, you do have a lot of information because
Yeah,
some of those things people wouldn't know about the different heads and what goes where. That's informational. If somebody trying to buy
yeah,
something and they get scammed because a vendor just threw parts together, and then you don't know, hey, this doesn't go with this. It actually goes over there. Blah blah
yeah.
blah. So
And
you
I've
don't
had
know what to
people
look for.
corner me at shows too, especially with the Shogun stuff. They're like, "Hey, can you come here for a second? Can you show me which is this? Did this have versions? Which version is this? You know." And this sort, I've been able to help them. Fortunately,
K Munin is grateful
oh
because
yeah,
that's right up
that's
his
some great
alley.
stuff.
Power Rangers Megazord looked like the
Yeah.
Shogun
Well, that's
Warriors.
the same influence because they're also originally
Wow.
Japanese toys. Only with in the case of the Power Rangers, they didn't change anything when they made them in molds for the American market.
The only difference with the Canadian and the US, I bet you, is the Canadian one got the Canadian flag.
Basically.
And I would get that $1,200 and take that Canadian flag off and put on an American flag, and you got a USSS flag.
Oh no. I
I
think
mean, that's $1,000.
yeah, I think that's the basic difference is just the stickers.
Yeah. Matt Reeves is still directing Planet of the Apes. I don't know.
Blue Splash says, I don't know.
He did the Batman. I don't know who does all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but I'll like I said, I'll watch it as long as it's on a free streaming device.
Yeah.
And Tubi has a lot of the new DC comics streaming on it, like Black Adam is on it, the Batman, and there's a couple of other movies that because I know Max, which used to be Cinemax, but Max had a lot of the DC movies, and Warner Brothers and Max had a falling out, and they don't do that no more. So Tubi has a lot of them, so they're free.
Hmm.
The only
Robert
only
wants to see
scene
Deadpool
Deadpool.
and Batman 2 if it comes out. I've heard there's delays with Batman 2.
I heard it was coming out in 2025.
Is it?
It's not.
I don't know. I just heard there's delays for some reason. Munin says since they mentioned Beyblade Hyperblades, they're insanely expensive
Oh
now. I
wow.
own all of it.
Oh,
Got them in the store cheap years ago. That's good.
good for you.
Good deal.
Because it's good when you see something
Hmm.
and now you bought it super cheap and then now it's expensive. Unlike now you buy something expensive and then 3 months later it's on clearance, it's at Ollie's, it's on eBay cheaper than what you paid for it. The Mark Wahlberg 8 film was a solo film. It is not connected to the new Planet of the Apes. Okay, but I know I saw it and I thought it was fine. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was fine.
First and last says, do you guys agree on grading comics and figures? Well, um, neither of us are into the concept of grading figures. I think
Mm-mm.
that's a really hyped market, and there's been a lot of controversy around it actually. But without getting too deep in that, as far as comic books, I'm more interested in it than she is.
Yeah,
But we have a take it or leave it attitude really, as far as
yeah.
graded books.
My view on
Hmm.
everything in life. It's your money. Do what you want to do. Who cares? You know. I'm personally not into graded comic books or graded toys.
Hmm.
You let's say for an example, first and last, you're integrated. Don't mean that we got odds.
Yeah.
Don't mean that I hate your guts and I think you should die. Because and I say that because
There are
you got
people that are like
channels
that.
that'll say that.
Yeah.
No, you like graded books. I don't. Okay, we got that done. Now let's move on. We can still talk about the book. You can still read it online. We can still talk about, oh, this is a great cover. No, this is a horrible cover. You can still talk about it. It's the same as in the box, collecting out of the box. All of my stuff is in the box. Some people hate that. Oh, set your toys free.
Yeah.
That's on you. You do what you want to do.
That we ran into that actually at the barnyard. Hold on, I'll answer that.
Okay.
It's actually, you're thinking of Alf, not Garfield. It's an Alf comic where he's wrestling with a seal, but it looks wrong.
Yeah.
That one's expensive.
That is an
But
expensive
that
book.
we saw that at Barnyard. Remember that one guy, that dealer was getting his ear chewed off.
Oh yeah.
That guy was turning red and sweating and going on. It was because the graded comics is a scam, and I know that because I went to CGC's website, and you know what it says where they talk about their grading standard. It says, and the guy's like, because you're trapped behind there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You got nowhere to run. You got nowhere to run. And,
all you can do is pray that a customer comes and say, "Excuse me, can you tell me the price of this?"
Yeah.
and to break it up.
When dude finally walks away, he goes, "Wow, that guy is angry. Some people are just angry." And I'm like, yeah, and who cares? I mean, grade it, don't grade it. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Do it, whatever makes you happy. I mean, who am I to tell you?
Yeah. I mean, I think you should grade it if it's like an old book, like Action Comics #1, Detective Comics 27, a book that's very old and very rare. Yeah, grade it to preserve.
Yeah. If you got to keep it safe.
You got a brand new one came out last week.
No, send it in right away. Get it graded immediately. It'll be worth a fortune one day.
Zom says those are fighting words. Plus, the Canadian version should be more rare than the U.S.
Well, to be fair, they made less.
Oh yeah,
of the Canadian versions. But yeah, she's just playing around.
Yeah, I'm messing around. The last 8 movies were pretty good. The new one is 100 years after Caesar's death.
Oh, I only saw the first of the new franchise, and honestly, I didn't really care for
That's the one with Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Oh.
That's a standalone.
Oh, yeah,
but
he
the
did say
first
that.
of the new franchise, I didn't care for it all that much, honestly. And I haven't seen any of the other ones.
I've heard that, but we don't have MeTV. And we don't.
Oh, Gilgamesh says.
Yeah, I've heard that they're doing a new channel with the 90s cartoons and before, like Saturday mornings. I want to say somebody said they were going to do it like the Saturday morning, but we don't have MeTV, so we don't watch it.
And Sigmund, he says, Sigmund. Do you have or remember the Milton Bradley Starbird or the Big Track? I do remember. I know exactly what he's talking about. I don't have them. I don't have them. Big Track is classic. It's the one with you punch the buttons in the back and it drives around and does things. And the Starbird, and there's more than one version of the Starbird. I think there's 3, I want to say. But yeah, it's just a classic, almost kind of Battlestar Galactica looking ship in a Milton Bradley box. But it's cool and it's classic. They're expensive now.
Display name like if the dog-eared copy is cheap.
Oh no. Reston says, you guys see the new CGC signature?
Yeah.
I think
I don't understand that.
Okay, from a marketing perspective, it's a brilliant move. There's a lot of there's a lot of controversy around it. Oh, I don't remember Rin Tin Tin very well.
I thought we watched Rin Tin Tin.
No, we did not.
What did we watch?
Tin Tin.
Oh.
Not Rin Tin Tin.
I used to watch Rin Tin Tin.
Okay.
No, I do remember that.
Rin Tin Tin is the dog.
The dog. Tin Tin is that little stupid boy.
Is the detective.
I don't know what kind of detective he was.
From Hairgay. That was a fun show.
It was. It was a
fun
good show, but
it's a good book.
That sea captain got on my nerves.
Oh, that's why Tintin got him sober.
He did.
He did. He was a dick until he got sober. But anyway, the thing is that what they've been riding on for all, that's what Zom says. And, there's some scam aspects to it, certainly. The trick with that is, for the longest time they've been riding on, it's only authentic to us if we witness it, and then they put the yellow label. Well, now they merged with JSA, and now they can start grading other people's autographs that they did not witness, which is something that all the other grading companies have been doing anyways. So CBCS, EGS, PGX will authenticate. CGC wouldn't do it. Now there's going to be a whole lot of people breaking open slabs from the other grading companies and resubmitting them to CGC, because they know, whether people like it or not, CGC will sell better aftermarket.
The thing that I don't understand, like, I understand that they're doing the grading now, because I saw the one video. They're going to grade the signature. So your book will have 2 grades. You're going to have the grade of the book. So you got a 9.8, whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's signed. They're going to grade the signature. So you have 2 grades, a grade for the book and a grade for the signature, compared on the, I guess, legibility, or how
which
great
I think is unnecessary.
That's stupid.
But I mean, but although if you're an autograph hound, it does count, because as people get older, their autographs change. Like the Undertaker autograph that you have. She's got an Undertaker autograph, signed The Undertaker. He will not do that anymore. He does a real quick UT and an arrow, and he does it all in one stroke. He will not do his original signature anymore. So the older signature is more valuable. Johnny says that he thinks all ASM 300 should be immediately graded. 30,000 of them is not enough. Yeah, I know. They beat your door down looking for an ungraded copy so that they can get it graded.
I think MeTV will. Yeah, I think it's, well, it comes on like on regular TV, but it's not streaming. So we can't watch it, because nowadays you can't just turn the TV on like you used to and have cable.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can get it in there. You see that signature? That's his original signature when he would write Undertaker. And he puts the arrow. Now it's just a UT and an arrow. He won't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And, also, if you look at Stan Lee, if you find books that were signed by Stan Lee in like the 80s and you compare them to the ones he did before he died, it looks like 2 different people signed them. But that's what that's about, I think.
Yeah, Patrick, I agree, because we were just talking about that yesterday. We were watching some comic channel, and they were showing that Spider-Man, what's that rapper, Eminem cover?
The Eminem battle. And it's like, is he in there?
He's not even in the book. From my understanding, talking to other people, I can't say because I read it myself, but from talking to other people, he's not even in the book. So it's like, but then I know that from because I read all those romance comics, and that picture that's on the front is never in the book.
Unless it's Charlton.
Yeah. Unless it's Charlton, but the majority of them, that whatever's going on that cover is not in the book. Now EC Horrors is. If you read the EC books, what's going on in the cover, that story is in the book. But a lot of the new ones, not so much. And it's like, how are you gonna do all that? It's just a cover buy my book. Okay, y'all talking to each other.
There's Miss Kitty. Says, get an old Aunt Jemima full of unused bottle from an antique store and get it graded and sell it for $14,000. It's coming, because they're grading the comic books, toys, which the toys I think is one of the biggest scams.
You have a big collection of I have a big collection of war books. Do you have any pre-code?
Pre-code or early silver. She does. Reynard. She's got some nice pieces.
I do.
She's got some nice stuff.
Of war books. Yeah, I love my war books, romance, horrors.
So
that's where I go.
Comics, toys, trading cards, VHS cassettes, cassette tapes, vinyl records, pulp fiction books now are being graded.
VCR tapes,
magazines, yeah, video
eight
games.
track.
Are they doing 8
I
tracks?
don't know. I just threw it out
But
there. Rec-
video games,
yeah.
disc and cartridge style, are
Mm.
being done. So yeah. And Hank says, are there any vintage slot car sets that go for big money that you know of? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. They can if they are complete in the box. I know that, but
Mm.
'cause
You mean
it
sealed?
not well even open if
Okay.
it's everything's there, because
Everything's
that
there.
stuff had a lot of pieces sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're often missing.
And who didn't open it if they got it?
And then
That's
Sigmund says when Funko Pop started getting graded, they lost it. Yeah, they're grading those too. That's right.
yeah. They started grading that a couple of years ago. A guy, what's Larry name? Oh gosh, can't think of his name now. But he grades it, and he was showing them when they first came out what the grade looks like, and I'm like, oh come on, you grading Funko Pops now? I don't think CGC does it. I think
It's a different company.
a different company does it, but still, come
But
on.
like you were saying, who didn't open the slot cars? When we were kids, we opened everything. It's not like now.
Yeah, but I guess it's that same kid that didn't open the box of cereal, that Batman cereal or the Ghostbuster cereal. You know, they didn't open it because they knew in 2024 somebody was going to buy that sealed box of cereal for
Maybe.
$300. So it's that kid.
Johnny said, "Good Lord, imagine sending in all those Stan Lee signatures and regrading those. My goodness." City said, "Yeah, and that's the idea. So they're going to bank. They're going to make bank now, and they're
But
going to
see,
take business away from the other 3 companies, because that was what they were hinging on in a lot of cases. The fact that CGC refused to acknowledge other people's signature. They would say writing on cover or writing inside book, something like that.
but the thing I would be afraid of just from hearing the horror stories and watching the videos, people send their books in to update the
The label.
the label
Mhm.
because oh it's an old label, even though I got a 9.8 I want the new label, and then CGC regrades it and now their 9.8 is a 9.0 or something else. Because I saw one video, I can't remember what book it was, but
It was a golden age Shazam,
it was a big boy.
or Captain Marvel rather.
Right.
Yeah.
And they opened it up and somebody missed the coupon that was cut out. So when they sent it back in to get an upgraded label that they didn't need, CGC saw, oh, wait a minute, this label is cut out. So they changed the grade.
So whoever graded it 15 years ago missed that.
Yeah. So it's like, why you can't just be happy
Oh man.
that you got a book, an old book that's a 9.8? Why you need a brand new label? And you got to pay for that. It's not free. It's not like, oh yeah, send in your old labels. We'll upgrade it for free.
Plus, you got to pay the uptick on it because CGC is going to charge you based on the value of the book if it's over a certain amount.
I'll just be happy I got a darn book and sit down somewhere. Sylvester Stallone just writes SS on his
Does
book.
he? He charges like $3,000 for that, doesn't he?
Wow.
His signature is expensive. Stuart says they have a Bela Lugosi signature and he spelled my name wrong. Then he tried to fix it. I think he's about 90. Is he still alive?
No,
he's
not
dead.
Bela Lugosi. I guess when that happened, he was about 90. He tried to fix it.
Munin says, since you mentioned The Undertaker, I heard that the autograph of wrestlers is so common, having them on a rare collectible actually lowers the value.
Oh.
Heard that a good while ago.
Well, you see them a lot at shows. Yeah. They're the main ones at most of these shows that you go to. It's always a wrestler of some kind.
I think I got Monster Frankenstein in the press right now. I got number 2. I cleaned and pressed it, and I think it's sitting in the press right now. Right, Miss Kitty?
Me and my wife are going to see the new Godzilla movie tonight. Oh, good. I hope it's good. I like the Godzilla and King Kong. I thought that was fine. Wouldn't a slab NIB figure toy be an automatic 10? No.
Well, I mean, most of them are going to have some kind of flaw, you know?
Well, the box might have some scuffs on it.
Oh, yeah, back there. That's the door. That's for that's where we've stuck all of the cards, the letters and cards and stuff that people sent us when they sent something to the P.O. box. Oh, I don't know.
interest dies and nobody cares anymore.
Well, the grading of comics, it's probably not going away anytime soon,
No.
or the cards, trading cards, because it's a way to it's a third way to get a third party opinion to to validate
And
the condition of the item for if you're going to resell it. So that's what's keeping it popular.
yeah. Hey,
And
Dama.
Dame is here. Glad
How
you
you
could join us this
doing?
evening. And
How
Blue
long?
Splash depends. I mean, it could take anywhere from like 3 weeks to 3 months. It depends on what it is, how old it is, if you're getting any services done, which I do not recommend using any grading companies cleaning or pressing services.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
know
recommend
during
it.
COVID it took over a year.
Yeah, all of them got backed up.
Yeah, they got backed up
They all
real
got
bad
backed
because
up,
now everybody's sitting at
except for
home.
PGX. PGX was still getting them done under a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Brent?
Reston opens his
Mm-hmm.
that he wants to keep and leave the others mint in the box to put on display. Now I've seen people
Sure.
do that. I like that. It's expensive because I saw two people. One person, I think they had Masters of the Universe, the original ones that came out in the 80s, and they had two. They had a loose one, a loose example, and a carded example like behind it. And I think somebody had that on Ninja Turtles. Um, I like that idea, but at this point in time, that's an expensive idea. Now, if you did that some years back when it was still cheap,
Yeah.
yeah, then that'll be cool.
Because I
But
used
yeah,
to do that.
I like that idea. I would do that if I could afford it.
And Johnny says CGC is throwing anything to see if it sticks to the
Yeah.
wall. I'm not sure if people will be interested in doing that because the item itself will be regraded again.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen because every time you
Okay.
go, what?
Stewart
Oh, the
explained
junior.
Lugosi Jr. He
Oh,
keeps the legacy going. Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah. People, oh, in the past when people just sent in to upgrade the label, CGC went ahead and regraded the whole thing. They went and flipped through it. Sometimes they even damage it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't try that with a precious book. You know, I got a rare book, a old book, a silver, especially a golden age book. I wouldn't touch it no more. If you got it and it's at a decent grade, doesn't matter that it's not centered in the case and the seal isn't perfect. It's an old label. You got the book.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
enough.
worry. Who cares about the label? Labels all look terrible anyway.
Yeah, they
But
all look dumb.
uh, but I wouldn't trust their services to clean and press. They don't really do a proper cleaning and pressing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They take a magic eraser and they rub the cover front and back, and then they throw it in the press dry. They don't dry clean it. They don't spot clean anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing, and plus they're in a rush.
Yeah.
They're in a hurry. So and accidents do happen.
Yeah, I've seen some videos.
They had this one guy. I think it was also a Captain Marvel from the Golden Age. It was an early one, and the guy had sent it in to again be reslabbed.
Yeah.
He wanted an updated label, and they were like, "Well, we took it out, and it's no longer a 9.6.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think it was a high grade for the
Yeah.
age. It was like a 9.4, 9.6. And he was like, "It's not. It's like a 9.2 or whatever." And he was like, "Okay, well, clean it and press it." Which is expensive when they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they're going to charge you based on, again, the value of the book. We know a guy that we that has a very valuable Golden Age collection. He was telling me that he was paying them $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a piece for cleaning and grading, for cleaning and pressing and grading from CGC. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You're paying way too much for the cleaning and pressing.
Yeah.
But they tore his book when they
tore the
pressed
cover
it.
off.
They tore the book when they pressed it and ruined it. And of course, they'll give you a credit, thanks. But
it ain't the book.
You're better off finding an independent person to clean and press.
Yeah. So how do you press a comic? Is it as simple as just putting constant pressure?
No, pressure don't work.
No.
You need pressure, but pressure doesn't work unless it's moisture. So you have to basically you dry clean the book, you steam clean it, and you've got to do that. You have to have the right technique for it so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't end up with water spots all over your book, because that'll just stain the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You'll have all these spots, these brown spots everywhere, or rings all over it. So I basically steam clean. Oh, I do a detailed cleaning on the outside to polish it up. Oh, hey, V Dog, to polish it up, get any soiling off, get anything off that might be stuck to it, remove, especially in the white areas, you can really brighten it up.
Yeah.
And then there's a buffing process that can be done, which a lot of pressers, even professional pressers, will not do, because my experience is actually with book conservation. So I do different techniques. They're afraid to buff it because if you don't do it right, you'll tear the cover,
Mm.
and that'll bring that gloss back. Then you steam clean it, and then you put it in the heat press. And when the heat press squeezes all the moisture back out of the book, all of the lines and creases disappear.
Mm.
Of course, if anything is color breaking, you'll still see that line, but it won't be a groove or an indentation anymore, or a dent or a dimple. That'll be gone.
He just did a couple of books
Mhm.
recently and put it on Instagram, and one of them I was shocked. It was
Oh, was that X-Men?
X-Men, because the words are white, and
That was a commission.
it was like kind of yellowish,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, okay. And then he showed me the after. I'm like, whoa, that's bright.
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on.
Hank, did you put the PO box in the
It's
description?
yes, it should be in the description.
If
See
not,
there,
then we'll
if
let you
that'll, I
know.
don't know how well that'll come up, but it's on Instagram. That was
Mm-hmm.
before, and I don't know how well you can tell how soiled and dark that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, hold on a second, let me back this up.
Yeah, you can see how white that is.
Yeah,
It's like brand new.
yeah, especially in white areas, because I don't like to do too much detail cleaning in colored areas, because if you're not careful, you pull the color out,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to damage the book.
How much does it cost to get a book graded?
Depends on where you're going.
And
It's all different.
yeah, and then it depends on the year of the book.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking of getting any mythic legions? No, I
Well,
do
she wants that.
still want that headless horseman,
Yeah.
but I haven't pulled a trigger. Will I? I don't know.
I mean, I take commissions for pressing and cleaning, and unless it's something that's extremely valuable, I charge like $25 for pressing and cleaning. Um, so yeah, and plus the postage.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay for the postage back and forth, but I typically charge about 25 for that, unless it's a really, like, if you send me a book that's worth like $5,000, it's going to be a little more, because I've got to slow the whole process down,
Yeah.
because um, you're going to want to be a lot more careful. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want a mistake. I rarely have a mistake, but I don't want to risk it.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert, I'm with you. I just want to read the book as is. I'm serious.
That's fine.
And that's why I collect them. I mean, again, to each his own. I
Hmm.
know some people that are strict cover buyers. They don't care to ever read the book. They just want the cover. They like how it looks graded. I understand that. I want to actually open the book up and read it and do all that and put it back in the sleeve and the backing board and put it in the box.
This is one I just did. I have a stack of comics sitting here. This is one. Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Stone
Stone
Sour.
Sour. Let's
Much
spread the
much
word.
appreciated.
Yes, spread the
This
word.
thing, and I picked it up at the barnyard, and it looked like a tic tac toe board. There was, when I took it out of the bag, this crisscross lines dug in on both sides of the book, and I was like, "Holy crap!" But this is like a 9698 now, because the
Yeah.
corners were nice and sharp. I got every line out of that book.
Hey, Chance, how are
There's
you?
Chance,
Where are you
Nostalgic
with
Pod
the
Blast.
Ewings? Ray just went to court, and now they're gonna bring Aunt Lil on the stand,
He don't want
and
that.
and he just flipped out.
Yeah.
So Aunt Lil is gonna get up there because I don't know what's up with Ray? Why he's so stupid? Why he can't just say,
Ray's a sad sack. He gives up easy.
yeah, he gives
But
up real easy. Why he can't just say, hey, Mickey told me, you know, if I go into a coma and things don't look well, I don't want to live like this, because that's what he
That's
said.
what he said. Just tell him and get it over with.
Hey,
Oh, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. I hope you're still there, because I know I'm so slow going through these things. But yeah, that's where we are with the Ewans. And then of course Pam is upset because Bobby saw what's her name, his little ex-girlfriend, and spent some time with
Pam's a
her.
piece of crap.
She
But
is. She full of garbage. She ain't about nothing.
Nostalgic Pod Blast has a channel. Check
Yes.
it out. And
Yes.
also, we'll be a guest on his channel on the 19th of this
That's
month.
next weekend.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday. And on every Sunday at 3 o'clock, if you don't know,
Eastern Standard
Time, he bought what, 17 long boxes of comics. So he does a box a week every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. He'll let the audience pick a box. So he'll show you the box and you'll say, line 3, box 5. And then he'll go through and show every book um, in that box. So that's what he does on Sunday. So check him out. He's going through some really good books. I can't wait until he gets to the
because he's going to let me cherry
horror
pick.
book.
I said he's going to let me cherry pick.
Because he's going to get clunked upside the head real quick.
Oh.
And the box will disappear.
Uh-oh.
I'm just messing with him, and he knows it. The whole grading idea is great, but I'm with you, LPH. People are getting really crazy about it. They are.
Some people take it real serious.
Yeah, I mean, again, don't threaten a person's life because you don't agree with them. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's fine. If that's what you like, why does that have to divide us? You know what I'm saying? You like grading, I don't. Why does that have to be an issue? Why do I have to hate you and wish bad on you because, oh, he grades his books and I can't stand it. Everybody should read their books. Whatever. It's your money. I don't buy your books, and I sure ain't gonna pay to get them graded. So what do I care? You know? And I think that's what's wrong with people. It's not just comic books, it's toys, it's everything. They got to make their way of doing things everybody's way of doing things.
Yeah, they got
to ridiculous.
They got to push their perspective. If you don't agree, you're the enemy, basically.
Johnny said he saw so many vendors trying to dump their Funko Pops. It was crazy. We were at the thing on Free Comic Book Day. Oh God, it was so many Funko Pop vendors. And I haven't seen that many Funko Pop vendors in years.
Oh, at Charlie's.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
That's that'll give you a better example of what she's talking about. There's that Heathcliff that I did before and after side by side. That's on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see, and that's kind of tough, but you can see on the one side how terribly wrinkled and dirty it is in comparison to the other side. That is the same book. After I finished working on it, it because it's so many color breaking lines and damage to it, the grade does not improve, but the presentation does.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's enough. You know, the presentation being in better condition. If it looks good, they're happy with it. It doesn't matter if it's if the grade bumps or not.
Oh yeah, Johnny. Who Shot JR was season 2.
Yeah,
we way up
way
there
back.
In season 7 now. Yeah, we way down the road. Who Shot JR got yeah, that was figured out in season 2. Christian shot him. Sue Ellen's sister shot him. I put a number on the oh, you put numbers on the
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Draw them out of a hat.
Funko Pops are struggling to sell even more lately. Even exclusives can't. Yeah, you see this exclusives. When we started, exclusives couldn't stay on the shelf. Now they on the shelf. They never move.
And they said that I called it the fad's coming to an end. People were so mad at me for saying that, and it's like, hey, listen, it's nothing against if you like Funko Pops, that's fine.
Yeah,
but they got mad. And Hank says, do any of the early Spawn comics command a high value? Number one, if it's newsstand.
What about the one that we just? Oh no, because we just saw it today. The first appearance of Angela.
That's been a spec book for like 15 years. But you know, it's not worth a whole heck of a lot, but the number one in newsstand
Hmm.
is pretty tough to find.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Chance, for having us.
Yeah,
You know, it's no big deal. We're gonna be
no, we're
excited to
happy.
be there. Yep.
Hmm.
So we're happy to do it. So
Miss Kitty, what is your
she's
problem?
just getting on people's nerve.
Johnny says they think their way is the only right way. Yeah.
Yeah. And people do that, and then they got to be so mean and nasty about it. WCW fan forever.
Hey.
Hey,
All
hi,
right.
question. When I was making a man cave, do you recommend when it comes to lights to make sure everything is protected? Yeah.
The number one thing that you can do to protect your collection, no
Hmm.
matter what it is, comics, toys, whatever you got, dehumidifiers.
Yes.
And that's no kidding. If you're going to isolate dehumidifiers and block out sunlight,
Yeah.
if
Block out the sunlight.
there's no windows in here.
No, we in the basement.
Yeah. So if you are a place that has windows, make sure they are completely blacked out.
Yeah, they
So
got those blackout curtains. They sell them
yeah,
at Walmart. And what you can do, because we put it in the living room because the window is in front of the TV. So we got the blackout curtains, then we got a sheer curtain
yeah,
underneath it. So when you close those curtains, even
yeah.
though that's a big old window,
Movie
that room
theater
is
time.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no light at all. No natural sunlight.
yeah.
For
Because
the
that
regular,
UV light is a problem.
yeah, the overhead light can cause yellowing of your action figure boxes
Yeah,
and discoloration. So you want to put it in protectors, or
yeah,
don't leave the light on
yeah,
when you're not in there.
yeah. Shut it off.
Turn the light off when you're not in the room. Because some people, and I get it, you want to have the light on to show, and you got these LED lights. When you're there, turn it on. When you leave, turn it off.
Yeah,
Keep the room black.
yeah. And the dehumidifiers,
Yeah.
because moisture reduction will prevent swelling and contraction, because
Hmm.
temperature change, because that'll help to regulate the temperature as well, and that's
Yeah.
important. Expansion and contraction will destroy the stuff, and you often see that with things that have been in storage,
Hmm.
or if you go to shows and sometimes you see an action figure and you see the cloud in there
Yeah, that
because of the
moisture
moisture.
inside.
Yeah, you never want that.
Yeah.
You'll ruin everything, or
Yeah.
it'll get mold.
Hmm.
It can get mold. So dehumidifiers, and we have two. We just
Hmm.
turn them off so because otherwise you'll hear them running.
Yeah.
Um, and they run 24 hours a day unless we're on the video.
Yeah.
And it not just doesn't just keep the moisture down. It keeps the dust level down, so
Yeah.
it's easier to dust, and it kills pests.
Yeah.
And that's something a lot of people don't
Spiders.
know.
No matter how clean you are, you're gonna get them big old water bugs in your house.
Sooner or later, I mean, if
Yeah.
any pests that come in,
Spiders, anything.
they if the air is too dry, it will kill them.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about pests either, which it
Yeah.
can also be a major problem for collections.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to make sure you do those things because um light, natural light,
Yeah,
sunlight, and these new houses nowadays, it seems like the whole darn house is one big window.
yeah,
So, you want to keep it as dark as possible. The area where your figures are, keep it as dark as you possibly
and
can.
also we use a slat wall system,
Yeah.
and that's what you see on the all around in here. Like if I turn it, you see how it looks like the kind of walls that you would see
In a store.
in a store, shoe store, something like that, with those transparent shelves. They're modular. You can pull them out and put them back in any way that you want, and they make the shelves in different sizes. And you see those are hooks in that one in that center display.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
The slat walls are pretty cheap, and you attach them to your studs because you don't want to just put them in the sheetrock; it'll tear right off the wall because they're heavy.
Yeah.
And we got white, but they come in different colors. They even come in mirrored.
Yeah. And those
Yeah,
mirrored one looks good.
yeah,
They cost a little more. The ones
hmm,
we got, okay, I went on Craigslist. I found a bunch of them on Craigslist. that were people, a store was going out of business
Yeah.
and they were practically giving them away. A couple of them we did get out of a store. And then in Atlanta, there's a store here that sells store fixtures, but then they have a section of slat walls that are damaged,
Hmm.
and we bought the damaged ones. Can't even see the damages. Some of them, like it was chipped, we just painted it,
Yeah.
and then you put the action figures on it, you can't see it anyway.
And you
And
can
if you
put
looking that hard, you got a problem.
full shelves. We got full
Yeah,
like 12-inch shelves in
yeah.
some of them, and yeah, it's completely modular. It's great.
But the majority of them, and even those accessories, the shoe store, I think it was Payless or Shoe City, one of them was going out of business, and we asked, hey, can we will you sell us? Hey, you can have it. Some of it we bought, but some of it they like those hooks and those shoe shelves,
Yeah,
those
like
clear
these.
shelves. The girl was like, yeah, you can have all of those.
And it just goes in like that,
Yeah, and
and
then
you
you
can
can
move
hook
it
your
around anywhere.
and you hook your figures in there. And they were selling that stuff cheap. So find stores that are going out of business, and they sell accessories
And the
really cheap.
the beauty of it is, when you buy, because people are always trying to figure it out. They buy all these expensive shelves, or they get bookshelves, or they get Dell tops, or whatever, and you have to try to finagle making your collection fit the shelf. It this way, the shelf accommodates whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You can change them however you want. This one's this tall, I'll move the shelf down here, and just slip them in all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. And they come 8 by 8, the size of a sheetrock,
Hmm.
a
Four
slat,
4x8, 4x8.
4 by 8.
Hmm.
Yeah, 4 by 8. They
Or
could
4x6. They're different
um
sizes.
so you can put them up like sheetrock, and we cut ours to size so that it would be on top of the plug, so you won't have to cut out for the plug.
Yeah,
Stone Sour wonders how much Funko Pop's going to be in the landfill.
yeah.
Probably the bulk of them.
They shred them.
Major improvement. You're
Actually, they put them
pressing
through
mix.
industrial shredders. Thank you, nostalgic.
No, we do not have any Lego figures.
Yeah, I don't have Lego right now.
Yeah, I'm so dang sick of seeing Star Wars.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
units.
Funko have to literally dump? Yeah, even Ali said
Well,
no.
last year they were caught on hidden camera shredding mystery boxes.
Wow.
Industrial. We put the video up.
More
Gilgamesh said
expensive,
spawns in the
actually.
200s are more expensive.
Oh.
Actually, I need to finish the run. They were short printed. Okay, I
Okay.
see.
I know I'm way behind because we stopped and talked.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
she's
Miss
the only
Kitty
one.
is the only one allowed down here because she doesn't climb. She sits. The reason she's sitting on me is because this is her chair,
Yeah.
and this is where she goes. Otherwise, she doesn't climb on anything.
No. Our newsstands are worth more than direct.
If they were printed between like a rough range 95 to 2005,
Mm-hmm.
because that's when the stores were getting to be a big thing, and it was being sold less and less at newsstands, so fewer of them were printed.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
Nostalgic said comic book shocks took better care of comics. Yeah, we got to catch up a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
just hit the like button.
Thank
you. Hit that like
Please
button.
do.
I have a dehumidifier in my GI Joe room.
Yeah, they're a godsend.
Yeah, I'm glad
keeping the stuff clean.
David figured out that, because again, we're in the basement, so
Mhm.
and then in the summer we empty it more because we're in Georgia and it's really hot, so we empty it more. But the air conditioner actually helps to keep the moisture down too.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff helps. In circulation, spinner racks were
Not a friend of comic books. Yeah, because they're all bent and everybody goes like this anyway.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a drop ceiling, you notice ours is colored.
Mm-hmm.
Drop ceilings, they constantly shed dust. You'll never see it, but you'll notice it building up on things.
Yeah.
So we painted them because it prevents them from shedding.
It depends on the size of your collection room.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, we have one, and then we got one in the gym.
Yeah.
We used to have two in this room when we first moved here,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a lot of moisture buildup. and we had two for a long time until we got it at a controllable level.
Yeah.
And when we moved in here, it was winter. Then by the time the summer came and we actually turned the air conditioner on, the humidity dropped a lot.
Yeah.
So now we can get away with having one. And then we also have the dusting, what's that called? The air filter, and that helps keep the dust down.
Yes.
And we'll turn that down every so often, and that'll help just with the dust. Per capita, there are
Fewer
fewer
nice
nicer
copies
copies.
of Newsstand. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Barbarian says, "Yep, there. I guess you're in the in Georgia as well."
yeah,
Is
yeah.
what they're saying there. Craigslist still around? I wouldn't go near Craigslist. It's Craigslist.
I actually went
They're
up.
still around, but
Yeah,
they haven't been good for years.
yeah, yeah. Let's see if Obamacha agrees. Raccoon eyes about newsstand being rarer in nice
Well,
shape.
they got mishandled more often. Let's put it that way. And WCW, thank you. I have so much stuff when it comes to toys, posters, and DVDs. I want to start my room. I get very worried. I want to make sure I do it right, even when getting the right frames for posters. Sure, because you want to, if you want to display your stuff, you want to do the best you can.
Yeah, and I mean, you paid money for that stuff. You're gonna treat it like it's worth $1 million. I mean,
You invested in it.
You
Yeah.
invested in the stuff. You got the house. You building a man cave now, so that's another investment. And now you're talking about getting frames for your posters. You want to make sure that stuff lasts. So yeah, you want to put in all you can, ask questions, get advice, look at videos and stuff. Because when we got this room, it was nothing here.
Yeah, we did a video on that too,
Yeah.
because it was bare bones, because the room was destroyed.
The
we first
slat
got
wall thing came up after we got the room together. We just happened to go in a shoe store that was going out of business, and we were like, "Hey, wait a minute, this will fit, a figure."
And it was
And then
Payless.
yeah, it was Payless.
Mhm.
And we asked, "Hey, are y'all going out of business? Are y'all yeah, everything in here is for sale." That's how we got on it.
These tables too.
Yeah, we got these tables at a clothing store that was going out of business. I mean, when Sears closed near me, I got one of those thick wooden open movable shelves with thick glass and lights inside. Yeah. You can get that stuff cheap. And again, um Craigslist and what's it? Let go, offer up, and let go merged. All of those places, even maybe on Facebook Marketplace, who knows?
Hank says Miss Kitty's a good girl. She likes to talk. Yeah, well, she kind of she's had a rough life, so certain time you got to be careful about handling her. But otherwise, she's pretty well behaved. And GI Joe Dave, he says the large Serpentor statue behind you. Oh yeah, that the Serpentor from Prime One.
Yeah.
Serpentor, and that was a gift from my wife.
I like that Serpentor when I saw it, and I said David should have that.
Oh, that kills me. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know
did
what
a
to say.
video on it.
Yeah, we did. We did an unboxing of it.
One more question.
Okay. Does it matter if the basement, if it's in the basement or let's say an attic converted into a room, as long as you can maintain the temperature?
Yeah, especially in the attic.
Attics can get very hot. They can get very hot.
And they have those air conditioners now that they mount to the wall, and they're air conditioner / heater. So just make sure if you're gonna put it in the attic in the summertime, that attic stays cool, because it get 100 degrees up there, and your little plastic figures are gonna start melting.
Because again, expansion and contraction, even of the packaging, that's how you can end up with a lot of well, sunlight will do it too, but you get a lot of those yellow brittle blisters, or blisters that crack and fall away from packaging and things like that.
Yeah, they start separating from the cardboard. So you'll see sometime you'll buy something on eBay and they'll say that it's never been opened, but the blister's starting to separate.
Yeah. It's because they just weren't stored properly, and the temperature changes are terrible on it.
Oh yeah, the spinner racks
Western
didn't do
read the
nothing.
at the 7-Eleven read them there.
Yeah.
But no, we don't mind answering questions.
Yeah, I mean, we like to take the information we learn and help somebody else because we didn't have anybody. We had to figure it out on our own. But then we also knew enough from life and going through. Like David knew if this is going to be a basement, we need a dehumidifier. So he
Yeah.
already knew that. We figured out the wall, the slat wall system. We figured that out.
Yeah.
We figured out the lighting. It's just other things we figured out, so we like to share it if we can.
Sure.
Make sure you are using those
The humidity
humidity
dial monitors.
digital monitors placed around the room. Yeah, and ours tell you what the humidity level is.
Yeah, it's on the unit.
Yeah, it's a readout on the unit, so it'll tell you when you frame stuff. Make sure.
Matte frame to
Oh,
keep the
use matte
glass
frame.
off the item. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't want to press it. That's true. I
yeah,
think Miss Kitty got fur on me.
yeah. Now you're gonna be wiping that off on
Munin
our.
says, I watched the entire video, you guys fixing up the basement. That was an immense amount of work. Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
well, the problem was water was getting into the basement, but they weren't fixing it. They were putting, what are they, dry lock
Mm-hmm.
inside. Dry lock. Oh, Mark Franco is here from Cape Cod. Thanks for joining us. So you've got to seal it from the outside.
Yeah.
So I trenched the house because they wanted $10,000 to trench the house, and I was like, no, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
I dug a trench around the house and I resealed the outside of the house to keep the water out, and then we rebuilt the whole room.
Robert, you probably can buy them on eBay, but you're gonna
Shipping.
pay out of the nose to get it shipped to you.
And what is the
No, we've never bought from Toy Federation store.
Oh no,
We've been to the retro toy show that they sponsor, but we've never been to their store.
Yeah.
I've seen the store on YouTube because they do YouTube videos. But we've never been to the store. Y'all are better than Bob or Tim the Toon Man Taylor with Home Improvement.
I try.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you can get somebody in here to do it for you, but one might. And I had this experience. I had talked to a guy one time, and him and a friend were hired by a apartment complex to do renovations and upgrades to the apartment. And they went into one and it didn't have the right amount of studs. And I
Let me
knew
see
this
if she's
from
trying to go up.
I knew this from being a kid. My dad always did renovations on our house, and the studs had to be 16 to 24 inches apart. And he said that they had studs like every 30 inches, and they didn't fix it because they didn't want to spend the money. So I'm like, how y'all gonna be renovating the house or the apartment and y'all are not doing it properly? So I don't always trust people to come in and do what they say they're going to do. So try to do it yourself. I understand everybody can't do everything, but if you can, do what you can, or at least know what needs to be done so you can go behind people and check them and say, this is supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
And you're doing the wrong thing. So like David, I was like, David, you can frame this basement out. He's like, well, I never framed the basement. Doesn't matter. You know how to use a hammer. You know how to use a drill. You know how to use a saw. You can frame a basement.
Here we go.
I'm serious. He didn't believe he could, but I believed he could, and that's all we needed. We just needed one person to believe and one person to do, and we got it done. I like the spinner racks, even though they might ruin the color. They look good.
If I had one, I would use it, but I'd just be careful about how you put stuff in it. That's all.
Maybe put the books that are not all that amazing in there. But I like the way it looks because it gives you that feeling, that nostalgic feeling. Probably wouldn't put my better books in there. Probably buy some just reader books that you don't care about just to display so you can have that feeling.
Or you can put your slabs in there.
Yeah.
Hank says their dad's Hot Wheel collection sat in the garage for about 20 years in cardboard boxes, and most of it survived better
Wow.
than they thought, and that it was still in pretty good shape.
Oh.
She won't go up because they in the doorway.
Oh.
Miss Kitty does not like other cats at all. So if we open the door and they're there looking, she's going to start backing up. So she's sitting on the
She's
stairs.
sorry. I remember those long days with you around your house and all those roots. Remember that day?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Johnny was right beside you with
Was
a
he?
shovel.
He should have done some digging for me.
Y'all's Wi-Fi is great now, and your time. Thank you.
Well, we don't use Wi-Fi.
No, we got it hardwired
Yeah.
because we got tired of it blanking out. So David hardwired it, ran the wire from upstairs to the
Through,
basement.
yeah, I ran it through into the basement so I could
Thank
plug
you
it
so much
straight
for
in.
your. We're glad
No
that we're
problem.
able to help. Again, we got the information. We've done it ourselves. So if we can help, we can. We can.
Yeah, we tried.
Studs supposed to be 16 to 24 inches apart by industry standards. Yes,
And you can learn a lot by watching YouTube. Well,
you
yeah,
can.
watching it and doing it's not exactly the same thing, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you can. Yeah. My house was a tornado rebuild, and my studs are not evenly spaced apart because they had many houses to rebuild. They are getting them up as fast. Yeah, and see,
And then you go to sell it and they're like, that's not code.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you have issues.
Yeah, or you go to get it renovated.
Yeah.
You say, "Oh, I wanna change out my kitchen," and then they start ripping those walls down. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be $35,000 to redo this kitchen." Okay, cool, I got the money, and then they rip those walls down, and then they see that your studs aren't right, or you don't have your electrical stuff right. So then it causes problems, so you got to be able to know what you need to have or what you should have. And I don't know, they do so much crazy stuff. They got that show on HGTV now called Home in 100 days, where they build a house in 100 days. And it's like, come on, are you really getting what you're supposed to get in 100 days?
No.
I would love to get back and rewatch you guys building the basement. Do you have a playlist on it? Yeah, David is putting it up right now.
I saw that, and here comes the link.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the video.
Mm-hmm.
So
Of David and his poor David trenching the house and building it. Like I said, this was just a concrete room. This room that we're sitting in was just concrete walls and a concrete
the
floor.
water damage made everything fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned how to build a 70-inch long cabinet, cement foundation and cinder block wall watching YouTube.
70-inch or 70 feet?
Oh, 70 foot. Sorry.
Or 70 foot. Or 70 centimeters.
Hey, Raw Deal.
Hey, Raw Deal's here.
Greetings to the coolest couple on the internet.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
Us?
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate it. And let me see. He says, when you were digging around the house, did you find any treasure? No. I wish.
I wish. It wasn't our luck.
And
Love
Robert loves
your
the live
live stream.
streams.
Well, thank
you.
you, Robert. We appreciate it.
And
we're glad that y'all enjoyed the live stream.
said that must have been years ago. Yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah. It was in 2019. That's when we got this house and we bought it.
As a fixer-upper.
Yeah, we bought it as a fixer-upper. And when we saw the basement, because the basement covers the whole house.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then it had a bathroom in it already. Even though we had to renovate the bathroom,
yeah,
it was already plumbed for a bathroom. It had the sink and the toilet in there.
So I rebuilt the whole bathroom too.
Wow, this would be nice for our collection.
So we got the main collection room, and this is 30 by 15.
Yeah.
And then the small collection room next to it in the hallway.
Well, it's the hallway.
Yeah. And then her sewing room.
Yeah.
And then the gym down here.
Mm-hmm. So, and those are some good sized rooms. So, it works out for us. And the house was ultra cheap because it was a fixer-upper. So, and we fixed it up. A house only has to be built to code for when it was built. Yeah. I've upgraded electrical in houses. One I sold, I put in a new breaker box, but left the wiring because it was up to code for when it was built.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Johnny said, "Have you heard of YouTube channel called Life Uncontained? They live off the grid and build from nothing a complete home from two metal shipping
Oh,
container."
wow.
No, haven't seen it.
No, we don't watch a lot of the building shows on. Now, it's one guy I do watch him. I can't think of his name right now, but he does home improvement from start to finish,
Uh huh.
and then he has like he does a live stream, and then he'll ask like, what do you want me to renovate? So you say a kitchen, so he'll do a kitchen from start to finish. He'll actually, okay, like, what do you want to see in the kitchen? He'll do a deck, he'll do a basement, he'll lay on floors, whatever you ask him to do. A bathroom, he does it. Using sunlight for power and rainwater for all the water. Wow,
Okay.
that's pretty cool. It'd be nice to live off the grid. I really enjoy your channel, down to earth and great insight.
Says G.I. Joe Dave C.
G.I.G.O. Dave, straight from
C.
the pit.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't mess with complicated electrical stuff. I hire out for that.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
know what you can do. Have confidence in what you can. If you know you ain't the electrical guy, find a good one.
Yeah, because you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, not
And
electrical. Your house burned down.
Eric says they'll watch tonight. Do you guys enjoy working on the lawn?
I do. Other people not.
Depends on what we're doing in the yard, because I have done a lot of yard work.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, I like doing y'all where we plant our flowers and cut the grass. I actually enjoy cutting the grass.
mhm,
So when we got married, I told him I would cut the grass, and he liked that idea
yeah.
because it's good exercise. Plus, I like doing it.
And then if we need a tree chopped down for firewood, because she loves the fireplace,
Yeah, he cuts.
that's me.
Yeah, and he does all of the weeding, pulling the weeds and cutting the bushes
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So we like our yard work. We got our little container garden going on
Our
this year,
system, yeah.
and it's doing good. Some of it is doing good. Some of it, I don't know what's going on.
It's not going to kill them.
Oh, okay.
As we move around here.
Mowing the lawn is awesome.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
exercise, and you can listen to your headphones. David got something he wants to show y'all.
Oh no, I have something. I don't know if anybody ever saw this or heard of this one.
Well, you want to show him?
Yeah. The Olympic hero.
Uh-oh.
Because the first action figures, in theory, were actually from Ideal, and they were made in the 30s, the 20s and 30s, and they made like they were wooden action figures, Pinocchio, Superman, Popeye, stuff like that. And when the term action figure was coined,
Mhm.
basically by Hasbro, in 1964, then you started seeing stuff coming onto the market. Even American Character got in on it, because American Character was a doll company, but they did the Bonanza figures. They only got as far as 4 figures, but they did the Bonanza, and then there was Major Matt Mason. There's not much. There's not much out there. This is a really, really early example of an attempt to jump on the action figure bandwagon. And this is actually 1965. It's the Olympic hero. I see McNichol says, any livestock? No, we don't have livestock.
No, I'm trying to get some chickens, but the cats I don't think are allowed.
Yeah, well, I got to set something up for it. And he says, do animals get in the way? Not really. No.
Mm-mm.
No, we have an understanding.
Yeah, they don't mess with nothing.
With the local animals. But because we get raccoons and possums and even armadillos and stuff coming through the yard, the occasional deer, but they don't mess with us much. But this was the attempt. Yes, Johnny Hero and Olympic Hero are the same figure. Elite Action has an idea who it is. Oh, and who is that? DC
Cohen MD.
I don't know, from Western Massachusetts.
Hey, Western Massachusetts.
This is like the cleanest example you're ever going to see of an Olympic hero or
so what
Johnny
do you do?
Hero.
A track and field?
Yeah. Well, this is a Johnny Hero. Okay. And he says Johnny Hero right on his sweater there. And he's a big, goofy looking guy. He looks like your gym coach. Like, hey man, You're going to have to do some laps. I don't like that tone of voice. Get down and give me 20. I don't want to hear any excuses, girly man. But they came out with this sports figure in 1965, the year after the release of the original America's Movable Fighting Man, G.I. Joe. And he's a big sucker. He's like 13 inches tall. And his clothing is not removable. Okay? It doesn't come off. It's sewn onto him. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand about this figure. He came with sports outfits that were sold on blister cards. They were sold carded with a cellophane window or on a hang tab.
How can he come with outfits if his clothes are sewn on?
Because the outfit fits over this. It does, and they were professional sports teams outfits. Like you had like the New York Mets, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, whatever, football and baseball primarily. All right, so you could put that on him. There's another version of him that comes in a blue box that he's wearing shorts and a t-shirt instead of this tracksuit. Instead of
How
this,
can he wear shorts and a t-shirt if he got on sewn on clothes in his long pants?
Okay, he comes also dressed in a shirt. And
I missed
a t-shirt and shorts.
I missed it.
In the blue box. This is the red box.
Okay.
I
missed it.
And he has, you hear them growling up there, and he has like this peg in his hand. You see this big metal peg right there?
Yeah.
This bike. Because if he has a bat, he has like if you got the baseball set and you get the baseball, the bat, or if you get the football will plug into this so he can hold it. Because Johnny is actually a bendy figure.
Oh, is he?
He's all wires on a soft vinyl body, and I'll show you his 6-pack abs here. Because usually you see him with this outfit torn off. He's like naked, and he has a really, really grubby, dirty body. This one is like remarkably clean. Nobody ever played with this Johnny. They left him alone. And of course, because he has wires, he's often split, this body. It's not even really silicone. It's God knows whatever the hell they used in 1965. So they're usually in really rough shape. But this is a really early example of picking up on the action figure concept. He comes with a stand too. And it's just like this this wire with this bar that won't fit around him because his waist is too big.
Lord,
but it's an early example of an action figure. Look at those big meaty paws that he has there too.
Yeah, his hands are big.
His hands are
and
massive.
It looks weird the way it's.
Well, it's because it's in that football catching position. He's like, throw me the ball, man. I'm wide open. Throw me the ball. All right, McFly. You're give me your lunch money, McFly. Somebody knows who I'm referencing there.
Yeah, Johnny, I did get the Wizard of Oz pops. I didn't get the exclusive ones though. I don't know. I guess I gotta go back and get the exclusive ones because I do want to get all of them. But I didn't get that one because you had to go like to the Funko shop and some other stuff.
Another really early example is actually from Mattel. And this is, if you wanted a really, really cheap 60s action figure, and Reston says it'd be cool if toy producers would take collectors' recommendations about what to produce next, give collectors a chance to own their favorite characters and lines, not just the best sellers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see. Nostalgia says that's cool. And then,
Biff.
Biff. There you go.
Who's Biff?
Biff from Back to the Future.
Oh, okay.
He says, thanks for sharing. You jump to 1967.
Who's, Dr. Doolittle?
Dr. Doolittle. Rex Harrison, the only action figure I know of made of Rex Harrison. And this is 1967 Mattel. and he's also a bendy. Basically, they took like Skipper.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Skipper or who was the smaller one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember because they had a couple of bendy figures. Barbie's little brother and sister that she would babysit were actually bendies. They were
Mm-hmm.
not traditional dolls. So they just ripped the head off and put Rex Harrison's face on there, which is actually a pretty decent likeness, and changed the outfit. And there you have Dr. Doolittle by
So
Mattel.
you can get those other figures on the back.
They made everything pictured.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the guitar, right? That's a guitar, not a guitar. And it's the one, you turn the crank to make music. They've got the Jack in the Box. They've got a talking pull string doll that's like 15 inches tall, and then a talking pull string hand puppet. And most of that stuff's pretty inexpensive because the film did okay, but the toys weren't popular
Oh.
except for the Push Me Pull You 2-pack with Rex Harrison. And again, this is just an early example of trying to jump into the action figure market. This though, you can still find it sealed in the package for a decent
Oh,
price
okay.
if you were interested in it. The Push Me Pull You is a lot more expensive.
No, I don't think David has any Zorro figures. I know I don't.
I don't have Zorro. There, see, there's the Push Me Pull You 2-pack. He still has the parrot. Let me see if I can get the
Oh, that's a
glare off of
llama.
that.
It's a two-headed
Yeah,
llama.
two-headed llama. That's why he's called Push Me Pull You, because he tries to go in both directions at once. But it's the same figure, and it's the same little bird in there, his
Mm-hmm.
parrot. But but it comes with the Push Me Pull You doll figure. I don't know. This will run you a few bucks.
Mm.
But they also had other stuff, like they had a board game, and there's a deluxe Push Me Pull You, and then there's he has a house. He has a vinyl carrying case play set that he can live in by himself because they didn't make any other figures from the line. So, there's some odds and ends. I think this is probably one of the most expensive. Although, if you can find those talkers still in the box working,
Mm-hmm.
because they're often broken because the string was exposed, and kids will pull it all day and ruin it.
Yeah.
But if you can find them still working, that's pretty good. Gnomsky says there's a lot of 70s toys I knew nothing about, a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in the 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
That,
But you know what's surprising?
What's
I don't
that?
know if it's surprising or not, but we go to a lot of toy shows and you rarely see any of this stuff. Now that $6 million man, we see that.
yeah,
We see a lot of Star Wars, a lot of G.I. Joe. That's about it. I mean, you see other stuff too, but
hmm
um, just looking around this room at all of the different stuff. You see cops. I've seen cops. We've seen some Brave Star, like a few Brave
Brave
Star.
Star is rare.
Yeah, but not a lot. I think one time you found the Boy Scouts. One time
Yeah,
we saw those Mark Safaris.
once.
One time we seen those Grizzly Adam ones up there.
And yeah, they were in rough shape.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff you just don't see. And
Yeah,
but you do see a lot of stuff. But then there's a lot of, but when you see that lot of stuff, it's always that same stuff. Every so often you might see something a little bit different.
yeah.
So I just thought about that.
And that's what I got too. Is like, especially when Pixel Dan was here, and
Mm-hmm.
he's looking around, and he's like, "Man, there's a lot of stuff I have not seen, and I've been to a lot of
Yeah,
shows."
and that's what I'm saying. You've
That's
been
it.
to a lot of places
And
and you
that's
just don't see that stuff.
Yeah. I've got stuff that never turns up. And Johnny says, do you have the complete collection of comics Superpowers? Wasn't there like 2 series run or 3? You mean the action figures? I don't have those anymore. I don't have those anymore. And DC says that Dr. Doolittle has a child catcher vibe from the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, I see what, yeah, you're right. Especially with the top hat kind of sideways like that.
Yeah, he
I
got those
do.
welcome back cards. He ain't getting rid of that.
I have the set of 5, and I have the classroom play set. I do not have the deluxe classroom or the motorcycle. Those I'm missing.
Didn't Mezco make a Zorro? Somebody seemed like somebody recently made a Zorro figure.
Yeah, it was like a 5-inch figure, but that was
Oh,
that
five
was a few
inch.
months ago. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Any?
Thundar the Barbarian figures out there. Not that I'm aware of. Blue Splash. I don't think that they've
Mm-mm.
really ever done that.
The only Thundar I remember seeing was Funko. Didn't Funko make Thundar?
Thundar the Barbarian. I don't know if
Somebody
they. I
made.
don't know if they did.
Yeah, we're going to Joe Fest. Oh, you can't make
Oh
it.
no. Oh well.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah,
there.
we're going to be going to Joe Fest, and we're going to go to Joe Lanta when they get it sorted out
Yeah.
because they're iffy on the date.
So we now have three Dr. Doolittle, the first Doctor, Eddie Murphy, and now Robert.
That's correct.
Yeah. And they're probably going to make another one soon with a woman.
It never needed to be remade.
The only constant at the toy shows you have are the Marvel Legends, the Black Series. You're right.
Yeah,
All sitting for under retail. You're right about that.
yeah, tons of it.
Because, like I said, you go to these toy shows, you see a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of the same stuff. And every so often you see something different. No, the superpower comic books.
I don't have it. I don't have them.
You don't have any superpower.
No, I don't have a
comic book.
superpower comic books. And Johnny says they saw issues 1 through 5. He bought all 5, but I thought it went longer. I'm wondering if there was another series run with more issues. I don't remember.
Who did that? Marvel or DC?
DC.
But you know, if you go to DC fandom and Marvel fandom, you can find all of their books. You just type in the title and it'll show you all of the books with the covers. Yeah. Even the everything, even what's spin off, or if it's a character, they'll show you every book that character was in, the covers and everything. That's what I use to find out how many issues are in a run, when it came out, and to look at the cover so I can compare the cover with my cover. Because it was some run, I think it was one of those war books. I had the book and my number didn't match theirs, and come to find out it was a different cover. Mm-hmm. So I use it for that. Boss Fight Studio Hacks.
I think he's saying Boss Fight is the one that made the Zorros.
Oh, okay.
And Hank says, have you ever thought of going out of state to shows like Texas? Well, we've gone to North and South Carolina and
Alabama, Tennessee, and Alabama.
So we don't go too far.
No, not too far, because then you're talking about flying and eating and spending the night, and then you're getting expensive.
Yeah.
We still did that one.
I'm not sure if they had more runs. Hank says Eddie Murphy was the best Dr. Doolittle. You know what I didn't like about it was that you could hear the animals talking. And the thing with the Rex Harrison, the fact that the animal would make a normal animal sound and he could understand him and everybody else was clueless, I think it made it more entertaining to me, especially like when he was in court. The judge wanted him to prove he knew what animals were saying. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, let me see. I can ask the judge had his dog brought in, mm-hmm. and he asked, talking to the dog, and the dog's barking, and he was like, you don't say he ate 6 pork pies for breakfast. And the judge goes, that's a lie, I only had 5. But
DuckTales shirt, her favorite show. I love
DuckTales.
And I'm gonna go back because I used to watch it. That was a part of Disney After School.
Yeah.
And I love that show. I like Uncle Scrooge and his money bin. And he used to go swimming every day in his money bin. So I keep telling myself I'm gonna buy the DVD set, mm-hmm. so I can watch it. And I wanted to collect the toy because a few years ago, about 2-3 years ago, one of those companies redid the DuckTales, Tailspin, and those Disney After School shows. And I said I wanted the DuckTales. I never got it though. But I did get the one from Funko. I did get those. Best Mother's Day movie.
He says Throw Mama from the Train.
Mother's the one with Mommy Dearest.
Oh no. Shame on you.
What's a Mother's Day movie?
I don't even know. Do they have such a thing?
They
Miss
probably
Kitty.
do. I actually tried to look for like a Mother's Day cartoons so I could put together a compilation to put on my channel. I couldn't find any. I was surprised. I would love to go to SDCC, but it's all modern new reveals. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, SDCC, the Purity, and New York Comic Con, also the purity of them has been erased over the years. They've been taken over by other entities
Yeah.
completely.
Collecting superpower
Oh, the
figures.
McFarlanes?
I got the vehicles, not the figures, but
Yeah.
I do collect the vehicles. So I got, well, I need the Invisible Jet, the Batmobile, and I ordered Brainiac Mobile.
Oh,
I ordered
okay.
that because I really want it. And for some reason, and I know this is not true, I don't think I'm gonna find it in the store, but I'll find it on clearance. And I know it. But I didn't want to take the chance.
That's possible. That's
So I just
possible.
went on, I think Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toys or one of them, and I just ordered it and called it
Well,
a day.
SDCC and NYCC have pushed all of the original contributors out, is
Oh, really?
Munin is saying. Because you
Mm,
remember Bud Plant.
yeah.
Bud Plant,
He
I know
doing
Bud
like
Plant.
the 50-year run or
Yeah,
something.
he had done 48 years and he wanted to retire at 50 and he had to leave at 48 because he said he can't afford it anymore. And
Mm,
SDC doesn't want them around.
wow.
And they're the ones that founded it. They're the ones that
Wow.
started. He was like, you can't even find comics there anymore. It's just it's a joke. It's not what it was. I feel bad for the guy.
Well, we watched a video some years back, and it was saying how this one big corporation bought up
A
all of
bunch
the
of them, yeah.
cons. So all of the cons now are under this one
Umbrella,
umbrella,
yeah.
this one company that does them all. New York, the one in Chicago, what Wizard? I think Wizard Con is
I don't remember where
Chicago.
it is.
But yeah, they bought up a lot of them to kind of take over. But all of it is about the movies because you see trailers for new movies. You got all these movie stars, these panels that they do, and photo ops. And a bunch of cosplayers. I don't know if they even sell toys and comics. And then of course the big wigs come out there with their statues and their toy reveals and
Yeah,
all
but
of
those
this.
guys trying to rent tables and stuff, it's just not cost effective anymore.
Not when
It's
the
just like,
tables are
yeah,
over $1,000.
yeah, or more. I forget how much he said it was, but it was incredible.
The
Like you could,
first Friday the 13th movie.
oh, Mother's
Mother's
Day,
Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Friday the 13th.
Huge and Louis are on sale. They probably are on sale. Shoot, I ain't
And
trying
then
to find it.
McNichol says, "Wow, had no idea about that. I never get much in deep details about cons. Yeah, and then you want some purity in the con. To a lot of these promoters, show promoters, they lump everything together. That's what they call the geek culture or nerd
Yeah,
culture, and to them it's like, oh yeah, we do that so that you can just get people through the door.
yeah,
They're buying a ticket, then oh let's make it all inclusive. But people in real life, people don't like that.
no,
They like purity. If I go to a comic show, I want to see comics.
yeah,
If I go to a toy show, I want to see toys. It's
yeah.
okay if there's a comic guy there, but it starts getting squirrely when you've got your artist alley row with like 30 vendors there, and they're selling like wood sculptures and soap and
And spices.
yeah, and spices. We've seen people at
Yeah.
shows selling spices and hot sauce and stuff, and things like that. Oh, nerd culture, yeah, that fits in, and it's
I
like no,
mean,
it kind of doesn't.
my thing is okay, it's okay if everybody has their space. Now, I don't mind going to a toy and comic show and it's in one space.
Yeah,
But if you want to have Artist Alley, have them in another space because then they're kind of like mixed in and then have the cosplayers somewhere else all together. Because all they do is walk around slow. They stand in the middle of the alleyway. You can't get by
yeah.
and they don't
A
move.
lot of vendors complain about
Yeah,
that.
the vendors don't like
They don't like them.
cosplayers because they don't buy anything. They pay all this money to get in, but then they just staying around.
Yeah.
And it's like, stand over there.
somewhere else. So we were at that one show that we comic show that
Yeah.
we go to at one of the BA halls, and if they have an artist alley thing, but it's in a separate room.
Yeah.
They've got the comics and toys in one room, and they got the artist stuff in the other room,
Mm-hmm.
completely separated.
Yeah. Kicking out the founders is just shameful. It's called Comic Con. Having no comics makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it's like you've killed the purity of it.
I think Reed Pop is taking over Comic Cons. I forgot the name of the show, the company, but we were watching that one. I think Thinking Critical. He does mainly comic reviews. He was talking about it, and he had somebody on that works heavy with the cons, and they were giving more insight. Only big con I've ever been to is Dragon Con. When a few years ago in the early 2000s, I've never been because I don't care for the big shows like that. I like them little ones that we go to.
If it's too big, you get diluted. You know, it's hard to.
Stone Sour said Friday the 13th is his favorite Mother's Day movie
Oh
to
no.
watch. Well, go ahead. Finish saying what you're saying.
Yeah, it gets at the big shows. It gets too diluted, too spread out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And Nomsky says they don't think their first comment did go through. Beast
Oh.
Kingdom has awesome ducktail. Oh, I see.
Oh, did they? Do they?
Beast
I'll
Kingdom.
look. Because Big Bad Toy Store got a
Kitty.
big old sale.
Yeah.
Artist Alley should be established upcoming comic artists and writers, not people selling dollar crafting. Sometimes
Some of that stuff's expensive.
Sometimes it is new
Yeah.
writers. Because I've interviewed some and they got their own comic, they got a book, and sometimes it is artists, like comic artists. But then you got like the guy with the soap. There's one lady, she had t-shirts. Somebody else had
beads,
some socks.
jewelries.
Yeah. He had like socks and they can print anything on it. And the Spice Guy, it's like,
what are you doing?
Why are you? Yeah, they had the thing where they're like lawn games. You know that board and it has a hole in it and you throw the bag into the hole.
Oh yeah.
They had that, but then they customize it for you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I gonna do with that?
Raccoon said in the early days, cosplayers were made fun of. Now it exploded, and people are making bank on Insta cosplaying. Well, if they're really good.
Yeah, they got professional cosplayers.
Most of them are not that good.
It's Culture Con.
Culture Con, there you go.
I guess. Pop Culture Con. My area used to have a free anime convention called Yasumacon. It was canceled after several years and never returned. Sad. It had a lot of great vendors and awesome prices.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Anime Con here. We don't go because we ain't that big in the anime, but
yeah, that's what it sounds like, a flea market where people sell their junk.
I never been to a con. I can't do big crowds. Yeah, then you don't need to go if you can't do big crowds because there's a lot of crowds and they bump into you, not on purpose, but it's fun though. But if you ain't into people like all that, then it's no big deal. That's why I don't go to my local toy shows anymore. It's all anime stuff and no variety whatsoever. But here they try to make it clear of what it is because we have several anime cons and they tell you, okay, this is anime heavy. Like they got the Power Ranger con and they tell you this is Power Rangers. So they around here they do try to tell you what it is before you get there. They don't just say Comic Con. They say Anime Con, then they got the Wizard Con, but then they got the Power Ranger Con. They got
Power
this,
Ranger
they got
one was
that.
misleading.
No, it wasn't. It was Power Rangers. That's what it was.
Yeah, but it said toys and comics in the flyer, and there was.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. That's why we went. And there were no toys.
No.
And there were no comics.
No, it was all Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers doing autographs, like a dozen of them.
Yeah, and it was all Artist Alley.
All Artist Alley selling
Power Ranger stuff.
No. It was
No,
all. It was like a flea market.
it
It
was
was. It was.
because they
Yeah.
had that guy with the bottle openers.
Yeah, and dream catchers and beaded jewelry and all kinds of weird stuff, glass sculptures.
No, Johnny, you don't get all that. Vendors recruiting for college cell phone booth. Now, no, that is true because they had the army out there one time. You remember they had the army recruiter? I'm dead serious.
Oh
The army
no.
recruiter was out there at one of the shows we went to in South Carolina. They had the army recruiter out there. I'm like, this
Hmm.
is a comic book
He
convention.
just convinced somebody that that would be a good idea because he wanted to go.
Even dating rooms. No.
Event dating rooms, yeah. Go
Only
there to
con I
find a
went
girlfriend.
to was SDCC in 2000. Met Dave
Dorman.
Dorman and got 3 prints for $40.
Okay.
Who's Dave Dorman? Huh?
Yeah, was it? I don't know. And Hank says the problem with the toy shows in my town is the people who put them on have no idea what they're doing and don't listen to the people who understand the culture.
Oh,
Well, they don't want to hear that.
no, because
Don't
they
tell
know
me
what they
I'm
do.
running this show. You don't tell me, buddy. Okay.
Artists and getting into vintage everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if they're getting into vintage everything, but yeah, a lot of the people we see at Artist Alley, they are young.
Hmm.
They're real young. And I talked to this one guy, he wrote a book, and I'm like, that's the exact same plot for I couldn't remember the name of the movie. I told him what it was. And I'm
Hmm.
like, that movie is playing right now on Amazon Prime, but it's the exact same plot as your book. And he just looked at me like, and I'm like, here, go look it up. And I showed it to him on the phone. I was like, go watch it. What you just said is the exact same plot as this movie. And I just watched it like a couple weeks ago, so I know. I have I haven't been to a show or a con for a few years. They had way too much modern stuff and the
Blue says
prices
Blue
was
Splash.
yeah,
Yeah.
and um the price was to get in was outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah. We prefer vintage,
Yeah.
and we really try to showcase that. And a lot of the shows that we go to are more heavily
Wow.
vintage. Even the RetroCon, Retro Toy Swap, which is coming up what June 1st.
Mm-hmm. Scary
Mostly vintage
tales.
stuff. We prefer that. We like
Yeah.
to see that. I like to see the variety because as much as I have and as much as I may know about toys, um, you still find stuff that you either forgot about or didn't know.
Yeah.
And I like that, especially something vintage. It's like I haven't seen one, or at least not in person.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of these before. That's great. I like that. I enjoy that. The modern stuff, especially if it's stuff that you can find on the shelves, or especially if it's stuff that you're like, wow, we saw these on clearance at Ollie's. I bet you I know where he got these.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Cons and toy shows will lose to flea markets and vintage shops and thrift stores. Yeah, if they didn't, yeah, if you can find them there. Because that's all people want. They just want to go and find the stuff that they
Hmm.
want at a decent price. Dave Dorman did comic covers for Dark Horse. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Indie
okay,
Star
okay.
Wars back in the day.
I mean, the names sound familiar. I just, I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, who had Playmobil? Who used to play with Playmobil
I don't think I ever had one.
in the 70s, 80s? They still make Playmobil,
Mm-hmm.
but Playmobil action figures. But who used to play with those? I was just curious. Johnny says majority of the toy shows today's was modern stuff and handmade crafts. I
Yeah.
would say 30% vintage, older than 1990. Wow.
Wow, just 30%.
And you saw the show, like even when we went to Toylanta, it
Mm-hmm.
was pretty heavy vintage, and that's why we went back and we did like a showcase video
Yeah.
of some really rare pieces that caught my eye, so I could focus in on those. But who remembers Playmobil?
Have you guys been to Ollie's lately? Their comic section. I saw today somebody went and they say they updated their
Yeah,
comic section. We haven't been to an Ollie's
not for
in
a
a
while.
while
Not for a
because
while.
it's not one by us. So when we
And
go
they never
out,
have anything.
that's true
Rarely,
too.
not
Yeah.
anything we want,
Yeah.
anyways.
But when we're out and we're near one, we'll stop.
Hmm.
But That's only when we're near one because it's not one by us.
Yeah, we're not rushing out looking for ollies.
Mm-mm. Now, if it was like with Walmart at, down the street, we would go more often, but it ain't. So we don't go.
And Munin says that maybe the vintage stuff is getting harder to find because it actually sells. That too.
Yeah.
And Gilgamesh remembers, he says, me and my sister had a couple of Playmobil things. And Elite Action also says they're a cool line. My sister had Playmobil.
Why you brought up Playmobil?
Because I have my set.
Oh, Johnny remembers Playmobil.
Does he?
I have a few things now from the 70s.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you got that thing.
Oh, yes.
David's going to bring out something for y'all to look at.
Yeah. This is the Night Deluxe set system. And this is Playmobil 1976. And I got this. I got to be careful with it. I got
you
this.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, I do, because the paperwork is falling out of the box. So I gotta make sure it stays put. I got this for Christmas in I guess 1976. I don't know who gave it to me. It probably wasn't my mother, but I don't know. I don't know who gave this to me, but I got this in 1976, and great play value these sets have. And this is it just opens up like that, and this is like pretty much unplayed with condition.
They redid the Playmobils. That's a big thing now. Don't they have like a lot of the Playmobil figures in the store?
Playmobil has gone commercial.
Yeah.
Because now they're doing like Knight Rider and the A-Team and stuff like that. You see it's the Knights, and these are unplayed with condition. Because you see that all the chrome on their armor has not worn off at all. There's all on this side, there's all the little dishes and swords and capes, because they have a full table set and the horses and everything, and then a description up here of everything that comes in the set. And it's just great play value. And they only have 4 points of articulation: shoulders, neck, and waist, because they can sit down, but the legs don't separate. Very durable action figures. And this is just a great line. And I showed these in our videos also, like our 70s and 80s Playmobil systems. For the most part, they're not that expensive.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're really not. This is kind of, toys that time forgot. And you could still find some of these sets for a relatively reasonable price. And so I just, but I went out and found it again, found it as good of a condition of a set as I could. There's a little Playmobil system like catalog here. You can flip through and see the little kids playing. I wish I had that many. All I ever had was this set. But great play value from out of these toys for a toy line like the Fisher Price Adventure People that had no cartoon, no comic book, nothing. Just a toy and imagination. And that's from their Western set.
That's like Lego used to be.
Yeah, Lego used to be that way. See, there's the Indians.
And they tell you what to make.
Yeah, they tell you it's a blueprint. It's like putting together a puzzle or a model kit.
Yeah.
And then you go on here, see the construction workers. That's just cool. And they had an astronaut series as well. Oh, by the way, Johnny Hero. There is a very rare astronaut. I showed Johnny Hero earlier.
Yeah.
Very rare astronaut of Johnny Hero. See, this is some great stuff.
Did you ever go to the Star Trek convention?
I did go to a Star Trek in the 90s. I used to go to a lot of that kind of stuff. It was extremely weird.
G.I. Joe Dave said they got the German version of the cowboy and Indian set. Why was it weird?
Well, because they did weird stuff there. Like they had rooms. It was huge. It was a big place in Boston. That the convention center that they rented out was like a 2-story building, and they had rooms where they had films going on that were like either documentaries or other things about Star Trek. that were playing, and they had vendors out there with Star Trek toys and merchandise, and it was dedicated.
Mm.
Everything that was there was Star Trek related.
Period.
Period.
Mm.
You didn't have mixed anything else. If it was comics and toys or other merchandise, it had to be Star Trek merchandise. And they had autograph sessions going. It was like $20 admission or $19 admission, which for the early
Oh,
90s was
man.
expensive.
I hope you be all right.
And
Mm.
no, it's okay.
I just wanted to William
Go
had to
ahead.
quit his job because the
Really?
third shift was wearing him out. His body hurting. And
Well,
he
I'm
was just
sorry to
so
hear that.
physically
I hope you have a
exhausted.
hope you have a contingency plan.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope you're able to find something real quick because it ain't easy out there. But people are hiring though.
And then
Go ahead.
the one room, and I've looked for this, and I don't know if anyone knows what this is or if I'm missing it on YouTube. Was the actor who Spinner, right? Who plays Data
Mm,
as in Data makeup, dressed as a
selfish
cowboy,
artist.
playing a guitar, singing country music songs.
Mm,
And I'm like, what the hell are these people doing? And there's stuff like that was going on at the show. Who is that? Thor's here.
yeah, Thor.
William says you can get a lot of jobs in life, but you
Yeah,
can only get one
yeah, I
body.
know
That is
that's
very
right.
true. Not all money is good money.
Yeah, oh God, I learned that lesson.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's better to have peace of mind, spend time with your family, and nurture that because you can have all this money, but then your house is cold and it's miserable, and
Yeah.
then there's no love there. It's just a house. It's not a home. It's not warm. It's not loving. It's
Yes.
just people that live under one roof, like a hotel,
Roommates.
roommates. You just come to a place where you sleep and eat,
Hmm.
wash up, change clothes, go back to work.
Bump
And
into
it's
somebody, have an argument.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So in my mind, it was more important to have my family, my love, my warmth, my peace of mind,
Hmm.
because woo, some jobs can make you go crazy, and then you lose your family over it because you chasing after money. Speaking of blueprints, this one lady had a stack of actual blueprints of McDonald's
From the
restaurants in the
70s.
70s.
Never saw that before.
Yeah, I should have asked
Interesting.
how she got her hands on it.
I have something from a McDonald's down here.
What that playhouse?
No, I mean from an actual McDonald's.
Oh well.
The phone.
Oh yeah, the manager's
Hank
phone.
says Star Trek conventions were awesome when they were a kid. They used to do skits with the Klingons on stage. It was
Oh.
hilarious. Okay, yeah, yeah. And Dave C said Trek cons were huge in the early 90s. I know what you mean. Yeah. It was
Mm-hmm.
weird stuff, though. There was just some weird people there. William says they'll be okay. They have a part time job, been
Okay.
working for 3 months, have a few months of money in the bank. Okay, going job hunting on Monday.
Oh good. Good.
But yeah, my Ronald phone.
Yeah, Ronald
Because
McDonald phone. We found it at an antique mall.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realized what it was.
No, because it was cheap.
Yeah,
They probably thought it was a toy.
yeah. But this is because the manager's phones from McDonald's were novelty phones. See, because phones like this were a big thing in the 80s and 90s. You might remember. Yes, Johnny, you can see it. There it is. You see, it's a statuette
Move
of
that out the
Ronald.
way.
He's about 9 inches tall, right? On his base, and there it is, Ronald McDonald. There's two versions of the phone. There's another one where he's seated with his legs crossed,
Yeah.
and he's got his arms up, and the receiver is in his
Sits on
arms. This one looks like this, and that's the manager's phone. He says, "McDonald's 307. Can I help you?" You like that, when you push button phone. This one's unused. I've got the box for it, but it's just a regular shipper box that says Ronald phone on it, and I put it in the closet and I put this on display. But yeah, this is the one piece that I have that's actually from a McDonald's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But figural phones was a big thing back then. You remember they had the Pillsbury Doughboy phone and the
Yeah.
Sprout phone and the Keebler Elf phone and the Garfield phone with the eyes that move back and forth, and that was a big deal.
The Mickey Mouse phone.
Yeah, for a while there in the 70s
All of
and
those
80s.
things had a phone. Well, telephones in the house were a big thing, So, um, you had
Yeah,
those
back when people actually
had
had
a phone.
landline phones, and so
Yeah.
novelty phones were a big deal for a while. Even even like the shoe phone,
Yeah.
the lips. There was a lips
Yeah. The
phone.
lip phone. I remember that.
Johnny says managers used it for business. Yeah, this would be in the manager's office,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was just part of the gimmick.
Send it
For
to CGC.
yeah, get it graded. Well, it's been removed from the box now, but like I said, it was just a plain shipper, so I didn't mind opening it up. But that was part of the maintaining the image of the restaurant as being just that child friendly. We're entering another world. It's McDonald's environment that just no longer exists.
That's what GI Joe Dave just
Yeah,
said.
back when going to McDonald's meant something, not just a cafe.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Now people just go there, get their food, and leave. You don't even sit in there no more.
No,
Sometimes people just sit, because when we go, we like to sit down. But now you got to go to that stupid
yeah,
kiosk. Everybody's in the drive-through. It's not the same. That magic is gone. The
yeah.
experience is gone. When you sat there, everybody sat down. Hardly nobody took their food to go. Everybody sat down at the table. You ate your food. The kids went to the playground. They did that.
Any of those places. I mean, look at what a big deal Pizza Hut used to be.
Yeah, and K-Muni when it didn't look so depressing. And David showed a lot of those videos when we go, and it's just so sterile.
Yeah, it is. It looks like a subway terminal, like you're waiting for the train.
Prison.
A prison cafeteria, huh? Exactly. Johnny says now managers have their own business cell phone.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Because it's just not the same. The whole the whole little universe, pocket universe they were
yeah.
trying to create, it no longer exists. It's been crushed.
We saw something. That's what it was. We were watching this YouTube channel. I don't know which one it is because I turn on whatever. I read the thumbnail. I'm serious. I'll read the thumbnail, and
Oh
if the
no.
thumbnail catches me, I'll watch it. But the guy was talking about how there's nothing new from but 1999
Or
to
2000. Yeah.
yeah 1999 to 2024, and how he was saying there's no new cultural phenomenon, and how people used to sit down almost as a country and watch a TV show. And me and David started talking about it when a show came on TV, like we used to watch In Living Color. On Monday, that came on Sunday. On Monday, we would get on the bus and everybody would talk about that issue because everybody saw it. And then one guy was like, "Oh, I couldn't watch it. I had to go here or there." And then we'll tell him what happened. Or when we used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you would get on the school bus the next day and then you would talk about that episode. But now everything is streamed. You can watch it whenever. You can watch the whole season sometimes if they put the whole season out at once.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's a blur.
Yeah, nothing that people get around. Like I remember when Michael Jackson music videos would come on and they would announce it. Michael Jackson's new music video is coming on Thursday night at 9.
Yeah.
Everybody sat down to watch Michael Jackson's video. When JR got shot, everybody was like, who shot JR? Was it Miss Ellie? Was it Bobby? Was it Sue Ellen? Who shot JR? Now,
Yeah, I remember when Thriller was going to be played on a network. It was
mm-hmm,
Friday night videos.
mm-hmm,
And it was the one and only time it would play on the network. And then
mm-hmm.
you'd have to go to MTV or something.
Yeah.
And that was such a massive big deal that they were going to play it on Friday night videos that night.
Yeah. I remember when his black or white video came out.
Mm-hmm.
And Remember the Time was like that. They announced that it's going to be coming out on this day at this time, and your TV was turned because you wanted to see that brand new Michael Jackson video. But now it's like, whatever.
And I know a lot of people, you may not be old enough to remember, when Saturday Night Live first came out, when it was Saturday Night Live before the whole SNL moniker.
Yeah.
Um, what initially jumped it off was that there would be college watch parties for that show.
Mm.
So because they knew it was live, and the frat houses and even the colleges and universities would set it up, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
get a big TV out, and they'd have like 50 guys in there or whatever, drinking and watching Saturday Night Live as it was airing because they knew it was a live production. And this
Yeah.
happened all across the country. That's what made them initially popular, is the phenomenon of, wow, there's these college watch parties for this show. We got to keep this going.
Yeah.
And now it's like, who gives a shit about SNL?
I
Nobody
rem-
even wants to watch it anymore. It's so bad.
I
But
remember they did that with The Walking Dead when The Walking Dead first came out.
yeah,
Um, they had watch parties all over Atlanta, and I didn't know what it was then because I wasn't watching it, but I was living in Atlanta at that time, and it was like, okay, come to this bar on. I think it came on Sunday, whatever night it came on. The Walking Dead is coming on. We're
hmm,
gonna watch it, and then they would talk about it. I was like, what is The Walking Dead? But now I know. I've heard there's I think that's in Kansas, isn't it? It's in
um,
Topeka, Kansas, because they had one.
Topeka has one that's pretty old school. That's
Yeah.
near the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that again, that's a franchise. It's not
Yeah,
company
it's a
owned.
it's a private one. That's what they were
Yeah.
saying is private. I just finished my shadow
Oh,
figures.
DC says okay.
Oh, you don't have the vehicles, but the vehicles aren't that expensive because that's the most expensive, but you can still get them for under 100.
Yeah,
David
the
got his skeleton warriors. He
I'm
needs two
missing.
more.
No, I need one.
Or
I'm
one
missing the
more.
Skull Cycle.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
I'm missing the Skull Cycle, and the Skull Cycle and the horse are the most expensive in the line, but they're really not that bad.
But it doesn't it feel good to finish that
Yeah,
line? Because if you say I'm doing the entire Marvel Legend, you don't know when that's going to end.
and
How
there's
was your
Eric.
day today? It wasn't bad.
Yep.
We went by the nursing home to see my mom. My brother came today. So we went there. We gave her flowers and balloons and had cake and cookies and sat and talked and did all that. That's all we did today. And we watched a very ridiculous movie,
Yeah, she
the
watches bad
Doomsday. Yeah,
films.
I enjoy watching cheesy disaster films. Um, I actually love watching cheesy disaster films. This one, I think it was supposed to be a serious film. It was called Doomsday Man. The concept was fine, but they didn't say what the guy was trying to accomplish. So it made it kind of stupid because I don't know what the guy was doing. He worked for the CDC. They found this rare disease, and then his wife died from the disease. It was an accident. She died. She got contaminated and died. But then he injected himself with the disease.
hmm
And I'm thinking, okay, he injected himself with the disease so he can spread it. But it wasn't his intention to spread it. By the end, he wanted to find a cure. But I'm like, okay, I think you could have found a cure.
If you kept doing your job.
Right. So I don't know
Oh
what the
no.
movie. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible, but you know, it's attention span
Shrinking.
shrinking.
Used to that you had to watch a show for a year to see it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
One episode at a time, 26 to 32 episodes. And now 5 or 6 is a season.
Yeah.
This is now you can see it all in a week. People
Yeah.
still talk about it, but move on to the next thing right away. Exactly. And
Everyone watched the last
episode
episode
of
of
MASH.
MASH.
Yeah. And Munin says, not just attention spans, grade point averages are down across the board. Yeah, that's true.
Grade point
Don't
average.
get me going. Display name. He says their brother had watch parties for Walking Dead and still watching the spinoffs.
Yeah. The last time I can remember as a group talking about a show, it was The Walking Dead. Um, when the season where they killed Glenn. And I remember going back to work and everybody was like, I can't believe they killed Glenn. And that's all we can say. I can't believe they killed Glenn. And I mean, all season you knew it was coming, but then when it came, it was like, I can't believe they killed Glenn. And we talked about that, and then that was it. But that's the last thing I can remember watching where people actually
We're
talked about it.
engaged.
Yeah, but then at that time, Walking Dead was actively on, and it only came on Sunday
Yeah.
or whatever day it came on.
If you want people to pay attention, you got
you
to
got to
space it
space
out.
it out
Yeah, you
because
got to.
yeah, like everything else, like they kind of do it on Amazon. They'll put out a show once a week, like when Reacher came on, Invincible, it comes on one day a week. But then, like, if you watch something on Netflix, the whole season comes out at once.
Yeah.
And I think on Hulu, I don't watch Hulu. I cried when Silver Spoon.
That's what
What?
Sigmund says.
Silver Spoons.
Yeah, silver spoons forever. Gilgamesh says anime is still that way if you keep up with the shows as they air in Japan. It's once a week and people talk about them after every episode. People have grown up on One Piece.
Mm.
Okay. And Hank says we watched a lot of shows together as a family when I was a kid. The
Yeah.
Simpsons, Frasier, Friends, and the X Files.
Yeah, we as a family we watch shows, but nothing. Well, unless I'm just not aware, I don't think it's too much stuff for you to just get around anymore. Back when we were kids, it was stuff for you to like huddle around to talk about, to kind of share together.
Yeah.
But what is there now to share together? You know what I mean? Yeah, we talk about toys and action figures and comic books and sometimes movies and music.
But those are niches.
Yeah, those are niches, but
Yeah.
it's nothing that comes out all at once for the
Collectively.
world to watch
Yeah.
together and be like, oh yeah, I remember when the Michael Jackson Remember the Time video came out. Okay, you can remember when that came out, when it came out, and that you watched it, probably where you were. But nothing does that anymore. You just watch it on YouTube or download it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or
I don't think it have the same effect.
watch highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, even The Walking Dead, you can't really call it a cultural phenomenon because it's a niche thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that just never bothered with it either. For the most part, it wasn't like the majority of people were into it.
Yeah, I stopped watching it some years back. Now, I did recently just watch that one episode of when it told you what happened with Rick.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. If it comes out on DVD, I would buy it because I want to see the rest of it. But yeah, we stopped watching it after Rick left. I know the actor wanted to stop so he can go and spend time with his family, and I'm behind again. So we're
You're way behind.
My
wrong
Ollie's
with
is
you?
packed with Marvel Legends.
Okay.
Yeah, Ollie stay
And
packed.
Thor wants to know about X-Men 97.
No.
I have not seen that show. And yeah, I used to read the Chris Claremont Uncanny X-Men. Gnomsky says I can confirm Walking Dead watch parties are a thing because like a good portion of my family would all come over and we'd watch the first couple of seasons. Okay.
Yeah. And that was a thing, but I mean, since then, what have you come together with family and friends? Not talking about a sporting event either, not sports, because I know people still get together and watch sports together. I mean, like a TV show that's coming out, because they don't really come out like that no more.
Yeah.
When we were kids, I think we really used our imagination. Now the kids are raised on cell phones.
Yeah, again, if you're using someone else's imagination, you're playing games or you're watching videos.
After the governor shows stuff.
It's somebody else's imagination that you're just taking a walk through.
Mm-hmm.
And Thor says, "Sorry, where Magneto pulled the adamantium metal from Wolverine's body." That was in the Jim Lee run, wasn't it? I think.
That's what the guy was talking about today, because they did a Wolverine comic book where he got that metal on the outside.
On the outside.
And he said that was shown in the show and it had something to do with the show. I don't know nothing about Wolverine.
Yeah, me either.
50 watching, 17 thumbs up.
Question mark.
Let's thumbs up, y'all. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah. And then
Thursday night on Fox.
Through Your Feelings says Thursday night on Fox for Remember the Times.
Remember the Times. I don't remember that.
Remember the Times.
I don't remember.
I'm not
that.
sure.
I used to like the one, the boy that lived at the man. He was a grown man. He lived at home, and he was a paper boy. He was in what's the one about the golfer? Groundhog Day.
Oh.
He was a cameraman in Groundhog Day, but he had a comedy on Fox, and he was a grown man living at home, but he was a paper boy.
I remember that.
I think Game of Thrones was like that at first. Yeah, a lot of people was
they
big
got
into
mad at Game of Thrones. Yeah, they ended up, and it's been, look how fast it's been forgotten, like it never happened. And Eric says next month there's a toy show in Southern Jersey. They're going to them and their family at Carnival of Collectibles in South Jersey, June 22nd at 10 to 3.
Okay. As I catch up. Oh, not too bad. I remember Mean Gene Okerman back in WWF and What the World is Watching. Yeah, a lot of people watch that. I used to watch it every Saturday. How about Roots? I remember
Mark
Roots.
Franco says, how about Roots?
We used to watch. It seemed like that show came on every year.
Yeah, they would.
I remember watching it more than once.
Yeah. I've never seen Yellowstone, Hank. So
no,
I don't
know
anybody.
Good,
I don't know anybody who does.
I think I watched the first episode, and then just never got back to it. Mud pie. We made
as
mud
long
pies.
as you didn't eat them.
I know we made mud pies. To be fair, even sports has been a bit of a drama.
You know, injecting politics and social.
All right, David. Thank you for staying with us so long.
Yeah, and injecting social politics in it is what's killing it. Nobody wants to hear that. Just play the game. Novsky says after someone mentioned that Wolverine mask looks like two Batmans kissing each other, I can't not see it now. It ruined the character for me. Yeah, I've heard that.
For the MJ
the Michael Jackson, he says that's when it came out. Thursday night on Fox.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. I got you now. Okay. Remember the time. Yes.
There you go. This Chris Elliott display name says,
Get a Life.
Because he started
Paperboy.
He started off on the original Letterman show.
Yeah. That show, Get a Life, was funny. I remember watching that, and I remember it being funny. It used to come on after The Simpsons.
It is a failure to thrive show, or a failure to launch, I think they call that, when you just don't move out of the house.
Yeah, failure to launch. We never watched Roots in school.
Me either.
We watched a lot of movies in school, but not Roots.
We didn't watch nothing in school.
I'm surprised we didn't, because I went to an all-black school.
Yeah.
And we watched. I'm serious. I went to an all-black school, but we didn't watch Roots. We watched a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. Like that's where I watched like Old Yeller, and Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, and stuff like that. But Roots wasn't what we watched. Roots at home.
I don't remember watching any movies in school.
Yeah, every so often. I mean, it wasn't every week. It was like every quarter or something. They would put something on for you to watch.
Except for Red Balloon. The French.
Didn't we see that the other day? Oh, that movie was crazy with the boy with the red balloon.
Yeah, and
around.
Nobody talks.
Yeah, nobody talks. And he's just all over town.
It's a French art film. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
It was filmed in like the 60s.
And they're trying to bust the balloon.
Yeah, all the other kids are trying to torture him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in like 2nd or 3rd grade, but I don't remember watching really anything else.
Yeah, we watched Roots at home. And then every year during Black History Month, they would play all them black movies, like Martin Luther King movie. I'm serious, they did where I lived.
Oh my God.
We watched the Letter
People in school. I don't remember that.
We did see the Letter People. That's when wasn't that when the kids went into that pumpkin and they went underground and the people couldn't read? They stopped them from reading.
That was Scrabble. That was the Scrabble Halloween special.
Yeah, but it was called The Letter People, I think.
Was it? Okay.
They went in that pumpkin. It was like, what that got to do with the pumpkin?
Not in school.
When I was a kid, my teacher made the class watch Titanic.
Oh, wow. Really? God. They just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
They wanted to see it.
Yellowstone is a great show. You're missing out, David.
Uh-huh.
It's on hiatus right now because they were trying to figure out to end the show because Kevin Costner left to do other projects. And I know they
Uh-huh.
had spin-offs like what 1888 or something like that. I think they had like two spin-offs like prequels to it. Hmm. The movie in school I remember that got the best reception in class was Romeo and Juliet and the Clash of the Titans because they both showed topless.
Yeah, but to be fair, in Clash of the Titans, the topless female was the Gorgon, and I don't know if that counts because that's kind of that's
Oh my God,
yeah,
David.
Medusa. But
I never saw
the
Clash of
snake
the
version
Titans. Oh.
is like yeah, you know, scaly snake boobs on Medusa. I don't know if that quite counts.
We talked about that earlier. We're not going
Eric
to the
says,
movies to see it,
yeah,
but if it comes out on a free streaming app like Amazon Prime, we'll watch it.
and I didn't. And I've only ever seen the first of the new franchise, the first film in the new franchise, and honestly, I didn't really care for it myself. Johnny says he remembers the junior high class making them watch Rocky 3 for the longest time.
Why?
I don't know because I didn't see any films
There's a breastfeeding scene.
or something at the beginning of it. Oh, in Clash of the Titans, I don't remember.
I think it was real brief.
Yeah, well, that sounds like something that a bunch of 12-year-olds would be watching out for.
That was a phenomenon. It was on the music video, on like not a music video. I'm sorry, like the Grammys or something, or the
Uh-huh.
Academy Awards, some award show. He did the moonwalk, and that was like a
He's talking
cultural.
about the film.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the
No,
actual dance.
Reston's talking about the film, and I think that's where it was chopped up into music videos.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where Smooth Criminal, the video Smooth Criminal comes from, I think.
When
But
you're a teenager, you take it.
the whole actual video is like 45 minutes long or something. Oh, that junk
junk
man.
man is here.
I need the Shogun Warriors. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, some of my favorites. I love the old Shogun Warriors from Mattel and the Popies too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great series.
Yeah, we talked about that in some length a little bit ago.
Yeah, we were running those over a little while ago because we had a little bit of discussion about that and about the 3 and the 5-inch versions from Mattel and how they modified them, bringing them over from the Popey from Japan, and they chopped them up and made them as cheaply as possible.
I know.
Because they didn't want to spend any money, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But with that, we've been on for just over 3 hours.
Good Lord.
So we probably should get dinner.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and sign off. Appreciate everybody joining us this evening. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Oh, William says Junkman hit 40,000 subscriptions.
Yay!
Subscribers. Oh, good deal, Junkman. Wish you had came in a little earlier. But we'll see if we can do it again next week. Elite Action says show's turning into a cultural phenomenon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But we'll see if we no, we did not see the last go. I didn't see the one before it.
Yeah.
So
we haven't seen it since the original set.
I've only seen the original 2.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any of the new ones. But we'll see if we're able to do this again next week. Hopefully you guys will have a chance to join us. And